On 5, we get a look at the Wild West. The run-and-gun Golden State Warriors meet the Northwest Division leading Utah Jazz. Golden State are fighting for their playoff lives as they currently find themselves holding on to the 8th and final qualifying spot. A big mid-season trade with the Indiana Pacers brought over the missing pieces to try and do it, built around their impressive floor leader Baron Davis. Tonight they have a big task ahead of them as the Utah Jazz have impressed everyone this season. What was meant to be a period of rebuilding, the Jazz have been playing above expectations and look like the team of the future now, with second-year point guard Deron Williams leading the cast of Carlos Boozer, Mehmet Okur and Andrei Kirilenko. The Jazz are running away with their division and look set to make some noise come playoff time. We have the whole of the game plus all the latest news and highlights from around the league, and it's coming up now here on 5.
Yes, indeed. Welcome along. Tuesday night is NBA night, and we've already had a lot of all singing, all dancing action for you. And now we've got a cracking game out of the West. And Andre, there, we've set up nicely because we know just how tough it is going to be to get out of there because of the standard so high. And it gets down to this little thing, and it's crucial in the NBA, is streaks. And we've got streaks heading in one direction with one team and the other with the other, haven't we?
And I think what's happened is the Jazz, Utah Jazz, went out west for a few games and lost to some sub-500 teams, games that they should have won. And leading into the playoffs, you really don't want to be struggling like that. And more importantly for the Jazz is they know that they're going to get some kind of matchup or even a flip-flop if they continue losing games with the Houston Rockets. And with Yao Ming back in the mix, I think this is going to be a really good matchup because don't forget, they are fighting for home court advantage over the Houston Rockets.
They lose that division, which is feasible now even, then suddenly that fourth spot isn't there anymore and they could be anywhere, couldn't they?
It's all wide open and it's all to play for now. And the more important thing about the Jazz is they're not upping their game when it really counts. Whereas you look at the other side of the coin, Golden State Warriors, fighting for their life to stay in the playoff mix. And don't forget, they've been decimated by injuries. So therefore, this is a team that's literally got all their main players back. And it took them a while to actually get used to each other, get their timing back, but they're playing really well when it matters.
Absolutely right. Looking a really decent team at the moment. They've won 3 in a row. Let's see how they've gone about their business, shall we? Look at some highlights. Let's go back to Friday. Timberwolves were in Golden State.
Kevin Garnett and the T-Wolves try to snap an 8-game road losing streak as they visit the Warriors. But Golden State off to a hot start. Al Harrington with the lay-in, an 11-2 run to start the game. The Wolves answer back. Troy Hudson hits the jumper. But check out the transition bucket late in the first quarter. Monta Ellis races up the floor to beat the buzzer. 24 points in all for Ellis in the game. Now in the second quarter, Rashad McCants takes it the length of the floor, throws it down with the left hand. Monta Ellis, the 6-spin move through the lane, lays it in. Golden State up 13 at the break in the third, capping a 16-4 run. The lob to Monta Ellis for the slam. The Warriors win 106-86. The Warriors 5-1 since the return of Baron Davis. Jason Richardson off to the fast start. Warriors up 11 heading to the second quarter. Rashard Lewis hard to the hole for the one-hand slam. Golden State up 14 at the break. Ray Allen pushing the ball up, stops and pops the jumper plus the foul. Golden State only up 2 heading to the fourth. Jason Richardson, the ridiculous spinning lay-in. Warriors up by 5. A ridiculous back-and-forth game down the stretch. Seattle up 3. Rashard Lewis pushes the lead to 5. The Warriors get it down to 1. In the waning seconds, Baron Davis crosses over, hits the jumper to put the road team up by 1. Seattle, one last chance for the win. Damian Wilkins, it's off, and the Warriors win it on the road 99-98.
They are indeed learning how to win. This is how they're doing it in their division at the moment. Phoenix Suns, they've got the X. That marks the spot for them because that means they've got their playoff berth secured. And with 50 wins under your belt, I'm not too surprised. Golden State, as you can see, are chasing the Lakers in this particular division. There you go. There's the 3 in a row. This outstands in terms of the Western Conference in total. Golden State clinging on to that 8th spot at the moment. They need to basically keep winning. That's why this game in Utah is so crucial for them, because the competition is tough down there to make sure that you get through to the big half of the season, the knockout part. And these are the individuals they're doing it with. And as Andre just pointed out there, it's only just recently that this little gang of individuals has been brought together.
Only just begun.
Exactly, and to live.
And we talk about Jason Richardson really coming into his own, literally carrying this team right now. I think he's been very consistent. Baron Davis back off the injured list. The newly acquired Al Harrington and Steven Jackson pretty much complete everything. But I'll tell you what, this guy, Monte Ellis, only in his second year in the league, and he was drafted late in the second round. He's only averaged just under 8 points a game last year, and now he's literally more than doubled his productivity on offense, and he has literally been awesome. He's come into the mix, coming as 2 guard. It's just provided that scoring punch when they needed it, and it's such a young player who nobody expected too much of. He really has surprised the Golden State Warriors and is doing an excellent job for them.
He kind of did what you would expect a young player to do when they were indifferent, which is be indifferent as well. But you can tell that the talent was always there, because now they're playing well. Suddenly his game has really risen.
And it always helps that not everybody is in that position whereby you can have injuries and they have other people step up. That rarely happens. And here they have a guy that they just said, well, he's in that position. We're going to have to, put him out there and let him play. And he is literally not disappointed.
Absolutely right. Well, of course, Baron Davis's return is also crucial to the way the Golden State Warriors are going at the moment. As you probably remember from a couple of months back, Baron Davis happens to be the best friend of and godfather to the son of hip-hop West Coast legend, The Game. Now, as you also probably remember, The Game is a massive Lakers fan. So, a few weeks ago, I asked him just how he felt about that.
I mean, you got to demand a trade or else you got to deal with it, man, because I'm a Laker fan for life.
He's a great player. Is he in the wrong place?
I wouldn't say he was in the wrong place. Anyway, any place that you can generate finances to secure the future of your family's future is always a great place. I think that he might be on the wrong team if you're trying to win an NBA championship. He's the leader of that team, and if they don't make the playoffs, then I'll have to call him and let him know that he disappointed us. But Baron is a good friend of mine and a wonderful basketball player, one of the most underrated players in the league, and undoubtedly one of the best point guards. So he's where he is, and hopefully he gets to the Lakers or the Clippers so he can bring it back home.
So he has got a personal agenda, but he also the game knows his basketball. Exactly right. And the game knows his basketball. A good player himself, and he's right. Baron Davis is a great point guard, but he's also a genuine leader, isn't he?
He just literally is the quarterback on that team. He distributes, gets everybody fired up. And as you notice, what has happened with their demise is pretty much when he was out, they didn't have that quarterback experience. They didn't have the guy, the leader of the team, to literally pull the team together, and that's what they were missing. Now they've got him back. You can see he's now getting a feel for his team. Everybody's getting a feel for him, especially the guys that they're traded for. And now you can see the potential that's on paper. You can see that now being portrayed on the floor.
And now you also see the paranoia of his mucker there. He doesn't think he wants the Golden State to do that well, because of course he might be able to get with the Lakers.
We're going to talk about the Lakers later on, and right now his nemesis Kobe Bryant is going to try and do something about making sure that they stay in the playoffs or out of it.
Exactly right. And by the way, didn't you just love those? Probably my favourite, the retro jerseys, those Bay City ones that have been worn by Golden State there over the last few weeks. Gorgeous. OK, let's find out how Utah have gone of recent times. We'll start with Wednesday. The Jazz were at the Magic.
Carlos Boozer and the Jazz visiting the slumping Magic. Andre Kirilenko, some fancy moves in the dish to Carlos Boozer for the slam. Big Booz, a team-high 29 points. Off the give and go, Grant Hill gets it back for the lay-in. The Magic up by 2 at the half. Dwight Howard fakes the handoff and goes baseline for the reverse layup plus the foul. Magic up 13 points heading to the fourth, but the Jazz turn to Mr. Clutch Mehmet Okur, who hits from behind the arc. One more time, Mehmet Okur puts it up and banks it in for 3 of his 21 points to pull the Jazz within 4, but too much D12. Dwight Howard throws down the alley-oop for 2 of his game-high 31. It's Orlando over Utah, 99-90. The Jazz trying to bounce back from 2 losses on their road trip. Pick it up in the fourth. Darren Williams hard to the hole for the lay-in. Jazz down 3. It's Darren Williams again pulling back and hitting the 3 to tie the game up. Williams, 12 of his team-high 18 in the fourth quarter. Under 30 seconds. Jazz down 1, not anymore. Boozer lays it in. Utah up by 1. On the other end, the inbound to Kyle Korver. He connects on the go-ahead jumper. Sixers up 1. The Jazz a shot to win. Darren Williams off on his three-point attempt as the Sixers edge the Jazz 89-88. Carlos Boozer returning to Cleveland to face his former team. In the second, Eric Snow the steal. Sasha Pavlovich the other way for the lay-in, part of a 15-2 Cavs run. Jazz get the ball inside to Carlos Boozer. He hits the fadeaway. Again, the Jazz turn to Boozer, who hits another jumper. Carlos Boozer, 19 points and 14 boards in his return. Now in the third, Kirilenko the steal and the slam. Utah up by 3. The Cavs swing the ball to Sasha Pavlovich. He knocks down the corner jumper, cutting the Jazz lead to 2. Daniel Marshall a couple blocks. Cavs on the break. Larry Hughes up top to LeBron James for the two-hand slam. The first time we call his name in the highlights, LeBron James flying high for the dunk. Cavs up 4 heading to the fourth. More from LeBron James. He lays it in plus the foul. 1 assist shy of the triple-double in this game was LeBron James. Derek Fisher gets a second chance, knocks down the three-pointer, cuts the Cavs lead to 6. But that's where the comeback would end. Zydrunas Ilgauskas the turnaround. Jay, the Cavs win.
Cavs are flying at the moment. Eight wins in a row. They're looking very dangerous. LeBron looking the part as well. This is, of course, the business for Utah at the moment. They're away. I think we can safely say. I mean, even though Denver have got themselves a little streak going, Utah there have got that lead, but they've got to be very careful because there's enough games for them to actually blow this unless they are careful. And this is what they've done it with. We've kind of alluded to the fact, Andre, that this is a team that no one expected this year to get it right. You know, there's clearly talent on there, but people thought perhaps next season, season after, but they've been getting the job done, haven't they?
Yeah, the Chief alluded to it earlier at the top of the show, and you look at these guys, they're very young. Deron Williams, only been in the league a couple of years. Matt Harpring, okay, he's a veteran. Derek Fisher, another veteran. But you're talking Carlos Boozer, another young guy that they didn't expect to blossom this early, this soon, and they've just literally surprised everybody, come out of the bolts, as it were, and they're just doing a real great job. Mehmet Okur, he's got to be a big part of that. Only the second leading scorer on the team, however, he's a big part of what goes on within the Utah Jazz. He's very experienced, knows how to use his body. He's 6'11", though he plays the center position, can put the ball on the floor, and is a very good, competent three-point shooter and can knock down the shots from outside. So that makes him very difficult to guard, especially against slower big men that they go up against. He makes it very difficult for him.
Arguably a kind of poor man's Dirk Nowitzki, as you say, because he's kind of got, he's a big guy who can do lots of different things.
Good point.
But more about him really has been his temperament, hasn't it? Really, he's clearly got the talent, but he doesn't always deliver, does he?
Yeah, I mean, there was even noise at the early part of the season that he wanted to be traded.
Yeah,
and he wanted to be moved. So and they didn't move him, but he's settling in. And like you say, he's very, very up and down, very emotional guy. But the thing is about him is he knows how to get games won. And I think, let's not look at points scored and rebounds. If you just look at him as a player, I think he's probably one of the main reasons why they're playing so well, because he's just so hard-nosed, blue-collar worker, and I think the rest of the team has followed suit.
Getting stuck in absolutely right. Comes as a bit of a surprise to everybody this year, not least of which is this fella who we heard from earlier. Look who their number 1 pick is.
My favorite team in the NBA right now is Utah.
Yeah.
Utah's
Did you ever think you'd ever say those words out loud?
No way, man. I mean, watching you, I would always tell people that the most boring games in NBA history was Utah versus Indiana, or Indiana versus Milwaukee.
It's like in black and white almost, wasn't it, in slow motion?
It's crazy, man. And then, you get those primetime New York Knicks and Michael Jordan games, and then you get the Lakers playing, the Heat or something like that. But, I mean, those games are so boring. But now Utah has these young guys, Deron Williams and Carlos Boozer, and they're playing, man.
And it's a very interesting point he makes, isn't it? Because that is true, and Jerry Sloan has been there since before the dinosaurs.
And I keep saying that he is the guy, in American sports, period. Ice hockey, American football, he is the only coach to have his job for 13 to 14
and hanging
seasons.
on in it,
And he's doing a great job, and he's been consistent doing it.
But the point the game makes is excellent, isn't it? Is that in the old day, Utah didn't exactly do it with the fireworks display. But he's adapted. Jerry Sloan, as an old guy who'd been running team forever, he's adapted his style, hasn't he?
Stockton and Malone, he had those two disciplined guys. He ran a very tight ship. Now you're talking the new age players. They're a little bit a little bit more off the cuff. He still has his rules about no headbands and so on and so forth. Turn your cell phones off on the plane, doesn't want to hear them ringing. He has some very strict, almost like college-like rules.
Yes.
However, he has adapted himself and the way his team plays
Style of play,
with the young players and the young athletic players that he has in getting up and down the floor.
So they're getting that right. Now, so we'll go back to the point. Lost 4, won 3. Travers are 1-3, home team are lost 4. Is that a genuine advantage for Golden State coming onto Utah's floor?
No, because right now, if you're Utah Jazz, they're pretty much worried about how they're playing. Don't forget, I think it was the Miami game, they were up 17 points and blew that lead in the fourth quarter. And what the coach, Jerry Sloan, is saying is we are struggling to find points from anybody, and we're struggling in the fourth quarter. And when you've got a team like the Golden State Warriors, even if they find themselves down, they've got enough guys that can put the ball on the floor and create shots.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between the two teams. They've got guys that can create and make things happen. And that's why I think they found a little bit of difficult situation when they went up against Miami, Philadelphia. And these are teams that they should have beaten comfortably, and they failed to do so when they were on the road.
A few seasons back, or even a few months back, this game might not have been one that you'd circle on the calendar.
Yeah, no.
Different story now, though, isn't it?
That's the beauty about April. I mean, March going into April it is all to play for. Even if you're in 8th and 9th position, it is all to play for. And believe me, tonight's game, I expect it to be like a playoff match.
Could be a little beauty for you. Let's find how it goes. Over to Salt Lake City now with our commentary team of Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett.
Frontline rebounding. This is the best offensive rebounding team in the league, Bob, in the Utah Jazz. And the Warriors simply have to shoot the ball well. You just can't have a bad shooting night and expect to win against Utah. They will score, and they play good defense as well.
Billy Kennedy, Benny Adams, and Mike Callahan to blow the whistles tonight. Al Harrington opens on Mehmet Okur. Shot clock down to 7. Darren Williams will get a running start, set up Fisher. Toe on the line, missing the jumper, and Biedrins, there's the rebounding we talked about at the top of the telecast.
And look at him just take it right out himself. He's very comfortable now playing that center position and using lots of variety.
Kirilenko, just a tremendous defender guarding Steven Jackson. Harrington missing the 3, and Boozer owns the rebound. Yeah, Darren Williams, you don't say it without pausing. Second in the league in assists behind Nash. Biedrins blocking Boozer. Fisher right in rhythm, and that's when he's at his best. Catch and shoot.
The former Warrior. Look at the Warriors get it down, though. Steven Jackson waits to set it up. Here's a mismatch inside. I think Jay Rich can go at Fisher. He'll command a double team. You can get guys open.
Skip pass over to Al, another 3 on the way, and he knocks that down. 5th best in the NBA at 45% from beyond the arc.
Jazz have lost 4 in a row, all on the road. Miami, Orlando, Philly, Cleveland. You know they're hungry. The Jerry Sloan team, he doesn't like to lose.
Boozer to Kirilenko. Darren Williams for 3.
Challenged.
Richardson, good outlet. Barron will track it down and lay it up and in. Good to see Baron Davis get a layup in this building. As you said, Jim, 7 games in his career, he shot 30% from the field right here in this building.
Average under 11 points a game.
Okur is fouled on the drive.
Challenged the shot and just kept on running, and they found him. Darren banged his knee up there in Seattle on Saturday night. He still says he doesn't have the explosiveness that he had a couple of months back.
Mehmet Okur, the 38th pick in 2001 by Detroit, out of Turkey, as a reserve on that Pistons championship team. But what a free agent signing here in Utah. And just getting better and better. But he, like the rest of the Jazz, have struggled the last 4 games shooting the ball. Splitting the free throws. Now Utah 25-7 at home, 3rd best in the NBA. Richardson on the mid post. Kirilenko with the rebound. Jason went for the steal and could not avoid the contact with Kirilenko committing the foul.
Warriors foul committed by the 23 Jason Richardson in his first, the second Warriors team.
I like the activity of the Warriors so far, Bob. I like the body language, challenging shots.
Just slice it into Kirilenko. Better pass to Boozer. That's the Jazz sharing the ball.
And they're going to break you down from time to time.
Harrington.
Getting some early shots. Now, he hasn't been shooting nearly as much over the last 3 games, which the Warriors have won. He's been very...
There's Okur answering.
He's been very circumspect in his shot selection, shooting a better percentage.
I like what you said at the top of the telecast. Just hang around. Stay in the game. So many times, and it's been different over the 23 games. The Warriors had lost 19 in a row in this building, and now they've won 2 of the last 4.
Yeah, well, that's what they did in Seattle. You know, they had that lead as much as 16, but then they lost it. Sonics went up by 7 with about 4 minutes to go, but then they started a little comeback, and they gave themselves a chance to win at the end, and Barron hit that shot to win it.
Barron unable to get the layup. They would like to play a different tune here in this building. Biedrins rebounding the Williams miss. Jason having it knocked away by Fisher.
Now, if they have to rely on Jason to try to beat Derek Fisher off the dribble, it's going to make it more difficult. Run him off some screens, get him to catch in the middle, 10 feet from the hoop.
What was it like going against former teammates? You know, Fisher, Richardson, you know each other, you practice against each other.
You know their strengths, you know their weaknesses as well.
Al Harrington, the weakness is not the three-point line. He buries another 3. The Warriors, a nice start from beyond the arc. Kirilenko has to terminate the dribble. Got nowhere to go. Here's where Okur is always the bailout. And a foul on the jump shot from 23 feet away.
Well, Mike Callahan says that Jason hit him in the face, in the forehead.
That's a mental mistake more than anything. Played good defense and the foul at the very end.
And if he did hit him, it was after the shot. But you got to call that on the follow-through.
Problem is Jason's got too quick. You also, for a struggling team, you don't want the Jazz to start living at the foul line. They've scored under 100 points in 6 straight games. And Okur knocking a bolt down. So Okur's 5, Harrington's 6, pacing their respective squads.
They're just keeping going to this matchup. Jason's got to look to be a facilitator as well. Can't go to the middle, there's Boozer.
Kirilenko came to help. Barron catch and shoot, good look. So the Richardson post up forces the double, open shooter, knockdown shots.
And I like what Jason did there. He didn't try to rush the move early on because Boozer was knocking it off. He got down a little bit deeper, then Boozer wasn't a factor. Other people had to come.
Deron Williams very clever.
Get your hand up on Fisher. And Jackson's got length to do that.
Fisher dropping it inside. Nice dish to Boozer.
Well, Steven Jackson lost sight of him. And no problem there because he had his eye on the ball, but he didn't slide down with Boozer. Put it right behind him.
Richardson on Fish again. Better pass to Biedrins. It's all set up by Jason moving the ball.
They're just going through him. He's initiating the offense.
Fisher off the screen, dropping in the jumper. Derek Fisher's hit a couple buckets.
Only Jazz player to play in all 66 games this year.
Shooting 39% from the field. Barron on Deron. Kick out to the corner. The 3 rattling out. Boozer just swooping to the rim. The push ahead Jay Rich before anyone could get back. And the Warriors run it right down Utah's throat.
How many times have we seen them do that this year? That's not easy to do against a Jerry Sloan team who really concentrates on defense.
And not easy to do off a made bucket.
No, but they do it better than anyone in the league. The Warriors do right now.
Same play, they rotate.
Working that pick and roll.
Yep.
Andre stayed home that time.
Corey has that range, but well defended. Boozer knocking it out of bounds. It's Warrior basketball.
They defended that real well. because the first time when they went to the right, I thought Biedrins overhelped a little bit, overcommitted. This time he stayed home. They didn't get anything.
Both teams are 6 of 11 shooting. 3 made free throws by Utah, offset by the 3 Warrior threes.
Well, one thing I notice right now is that the Warriors are just playing with much more confidence. You can just see it, you can feel it.
Steven Jackson over Kirilenko. Biedrins tipping. Jackson gets it to Barron inside, and Okur sent him away.
Well, he just tried to rush it a little bit. He tried to outquick him, and he just didn't get it up high enough. Good play, though.
Fisher all day in the corner, a deep 2. Okur fighting. Harrington comes up with it. A chance to run again.
They have a 2-on-1.
Jackson's pass was late.
Barron's got to hold back on that, Bob.
Harrington draws the foul and will get himself to the line. Even when a play goes awry, the Warriors are still playing hard to get the loose ball. And Harrington earns himself free throws. Timeout on the floor with 5:23 remaining in the first. We're even at 15 with free throws coming.
Okay, start running out the last 7 days for you now. Lots of Kobe Bryant still to come, but now we can go to what is arguably, probably not even arguably, the game of the season so far. And it would make sense as well, because we go back to a game between number 1 and number 2 in the league. It's the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. This is their record going into that game. Sensational stuff. And you see how it turned out.
These teams win basketball games. There hasn't been a game this good in the regular season, this late in the season, in 35 years. Double overtime regular season classic.
The top 2 teams in the league square off as Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki go at it. Winning streaks, bragging rights, all on the line in Big D. Sean Marion throwing it down in the second quarter. Suns up 14. Steve Nash doing what he does, getting inside, fading away, hitting Suns up 7 at the break. But the third quarter, all Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki, the jumper over Diaw. Again, it's Dirk driving on the defense. Dallas outscored Phoenix 38-16 in the third quarter. The Mavs led by 15 heading to the fourth. Dirk Nowitzki on the elbow, drives down the lane for the powerful right-hand slam. The Mavs have a 10-point lead, but the Suns hang tough. Amari Stoudemire, the elbow jumper, that cuts the lead to 5. Now with the Mavs leading by 2 late, 14 seconds left, Nowitzki misses his first free throw. He would make the second, giving the Suns a chance to tie, down by 3. Steve Nash, the ball in his hands, misses the first shot. Marion hustles it down, gives it back to the MVP. Steve Nash ties the game up, sending it to overtime at 111. In the extra session, Nash down the lane, the pretty layup. The Suns up by 4. Time winding down, Mavs down 3. Jason Terry steps to the plate. He ties it up over Steve Nash, knotted at 120. Phoenix, though, they would still have a chance to win in the OT. They turn to Leandro Barbosa. He gets inside, pulls up on Terry, but comes up short. We're headed to double overtime, tied at 120. The Suns again out to a hot start in the second extra session. Pick and roll. Nash to Amare. Amare scores the basket plus the foul for the three-point play. Mavs down by 4, under a minute left. Nowitzki over Marion. He sinks the jumper, cutting it to 2. The Suns try and ice the game. James Jones for 3, it's no good. 9 seconds left for the Mavs. Dirk Nowitzki, the ball in his hands. Nowitzki goes inside looking for the tie, but he misses the jumper. The Suns win 129-127. Nash spoke about the win.
Well, it's a lot of fun. It's a great environment. Their fans are great, and it's a great rivalry. They're a notch ahead of us right now. We're just trying to catch them. And they got a lot of offensive rebounds, and we kind of just battled harder after that. I think they've beaten us because they've out-hustled us. We kind of took a stand there and hustled with them, and it gave us a chance to score and get back in the game.
Both teams put everything in it.
No
one didn't know that this was a big game on in that entire thing. Did
well,
they?
The whole thing is they know that if things go true to form, they will meet for the Western Conference Championship game.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you want to get any kind of psychological edge as you possibly can. That's why the game was such a great game, as the commentators talked about. It was a really exciting game, as you saw. Nobody was sitting come crunch time. Everybody in the arena was standing up, and it was just a packed arena. great atmosphere, and this is a sign of things to come because these two teams, you know, if it goes to form, this is what everybody wants to see, the matchup between the two of the best teams in the country, Dallas and Phoenix.
And yet they are human because, as we're going to see a little bit later on, we'll see the rest of the highlights.
Oh, yeah.
Phoenix win this one, sit back on their laurels, lose 2 in a row. Dallas don't like losing, win 2 massive games in a row. How about that?
The different situations. I think in Phoenix's case, they still went up against good teams, but I think that double overtime win took a lot out of them physically and, more importantly, mentally.
Steve Nash said we were still feeling it. We've got to get back to the way we were before, and because that game's still in their heads.
It's nothing that a couple of days rest won't fix.
Right. No, exactly right. And the same principle with Dallas, because as we'll see later on, they had took on the best in the East in an absolute thriller as well of recent times.
And it will always go down to the wire, because I said in March it is all to play for.
Absolutely right. Got a great start to our game as well. Let's get back to it, and we're going to hear from inside the Golden State Warriors camp.
I think, you know, now we have everybody back. We have Baron back, and he brings a lot of energy. He brings, he always talks, and he's always coming in high level in the game. So I think the main thing is, you know, everybody works together, and BD, he kind of puts everybody together, and you know, he works high level. Everybody else has to work the same pace.
And that's what the coaches have talked about, is Baron Davis is very vocal defensively, and that gets Stephen Jackson talking and everybody else talking, and he just get more energized. And we've seen that in the Warriors' 6 wins out of 6 out of 7. They're holding teams to under 41% shooting.
That's because they're just getting after it right at the outset. Baron Davis gets a rest here, and Don Nelson has been resting him quite a bit in all these games that the Warriors have been winning 6 of 7.
Yeah, yet to play 30 minutes since he's come back from the knee surgery.
Only played 25 minutes in that game in Seattle, but 19 points and the 4 assists in the winning hoop. And by the way, Bob, as the Warriors are shooting free throws here, we should mention their defense. The game against Dallas, Nowitzki goes 3 of 11. Garnett struggled.
He went 6 of 15, and they made Ray Allen a volume shooter, as you like to say, 7 of 21.
7 of 21. Now, tonight, the leading scorer for the Jazz is out of the gate, Carlos Boozer, 3 of 4. So we'll see how that plays out.
Harrington, that extra hustle on that misplay, ended up getting the free throws. You know, that should have been a layup. It wasn't, but Harrington carried on, so it wasn't a wasted possession. And then pass, Boozer to Kirilenko at point-blank range.
Well, the Jazz are looking to go inside. Kirilenko, by the way, his 6th year in the league, he's never averaged less than double figures. He's struggled this year. Bob, he's 8 points a game, and he hasn't had a 20-point game.
Oh, don't say that.
Once this year, hasn't had a 20-point game. That's a tough defender there with the length that he has.
Yeah, Okur at nearly 7 feet bothered that shot by Harrington. Kirilenko, dunk, didn't get him going. And that right there, Jim, he's not hitting that shot.
No.
That jump shot from mid-range.
Yeah, it has not been going down for him this year. Heck, he as a rookie averaged over 10 points a game, and he just was a pretty reliable scorer. Blocks about the same number of shots as Andris Biedrins. It's about 1.85 a game. Warriors walking this one up.
There's yet to be a turnover in the game. Both teams are really playing well.
I love that. Long 3, but how about that?
And look at the pass to Biedrins inside.
It'll count as a missed 3, but Andris gets up another rebound, and Jackson doesn't care about that at all.
3rd page of the Book of Barnett. Air balls always favor the offensive team.
Isn't it amazing how that plays out?
I'm telling you. Boozer inside. They got to stop this pick and roll.
He's one of the best finishers, going hard to the basket with his left hand, his offhand. He's just very adept at that.
Boozer's 4 of 5. He's got 8. Stephen Jackson in on Kirilenko and just couldn't finish.
Well, he knew Kirilenko's a good shot blocker, just a little hard.
That ball saved by Fisher in the corner. Petrus is all over him. Kirilenko, that's the pass and crash. Offensive foul.
What a play by Harrington. They have another dunk otherwise.
Well, there is the turnover. Our first of the ball game.
I'll tell you, Harrington has really changed his game ever since that game in Chicago, and Don brought him in and out, in and out. He's just playing much better defense. He's rebounding better, taking better shots. He's just being a more all-around ball player.
So Ronnie Brewer, #1 pick by Utah, son of Ron Brewer, who played in the league. And Kirilenko will sit down. Ronnie Brewer was the 14th selection by the Jazz. And Matt Harpring has a strained hamstring, missed the last game, but will play tonight. Harrington missing the three. So Boozer with Ronnie Brewer, Harpring, Okur, and Fisher. And you better find Harpring on the glass.
There he is again.
Going to the rim. Monte, Ellis, Jackson, Petrus, Harrington, and Biedrins for the Warriors.
This is a team that makes a lot of backdoor cuts. Good old fundamental basketball. And they make the most out of it.
Monte given the three. Step in and hit it in Harpring's face.
Harpring gave him a lot of room because of his ability to get to the basket. And he also kept a live dribble. That keeps his defender at bay.
Looking for Harpring inside. Jackson walled him off.
The thing about the Warriors, they can switch. As they talk about those players being interchangeable, they can switch and don't lose anything.
Shot clock at 4. Boozer rattling it out. Good Warrior defense. Stopped all the cutters to the rim that time. Petrus from deep. Warriors getting very three happy here. Fisher. That will be a blocking foul on Monte.
We got a timeout. That is
2:27 remaining in the first quarter. It'll take us to the mandatory. Warriors hanging with the third best team at home in the NBA.
$21 apiece, good start, nice shooting out there. And the nice thing about it as well, there's echoes there of what one might call trad jazz going on as well.
Nostalgic.
Because we just saw this clip a little bit earlier on there, but the legends that were Stockton and Malone repeated as well here.
Well, this is it. You've got Carlos Boozer and Deron Williams working the pick and roll to a treat here. We got the come off here, nice pick. Go around this time, it was Derek Fisher. And as we see the roll to the basket by Carlos Boozer, and then they sting him with the same move again. So we've got, this time it's Deron Williams, we've got the fake, so that was a fake pick and roll. He just went over it, he rolled to the basket, Carlos Boozer rolls to the basket, easy dump down 2 points. And I tell you what, that old school play, Jerry Sloan, literally, that was his cornerstone offense when they were playing back in the day with Stockton Malone, and it's still working now.
And they couldn't stop it, could they? It's the most obvious thing in the world, and yet Malone, Stockton Malone.
There's a certain things within basketball, no matter how athletic the players get, no matter how much quicker they get, no matter what technology you put in the shoes and so on and so forth, the old stuff still works. And if you execute it properly, you will still get basket after basket.
Exactly right, and it's the same thing that's obviously keeping the home team in the game at the moment, because Golden State has started very nicely as the road team. Let's go back to it.
Boozer, 8 points, 5 rebounds. And he is in the top 6 in shooting as well as rebounding the ball.
That's a long way for Biedrins to go out by that three-point line and beyond, but you deny the player that way. They've got to swarm him so that he can't throw the ball also. It might help. Brewer likes to drive. He's not a great shooter, but he's an athletic guy who just goes hard to the basket.
Boozer was looking for Harpring. Now the shot clock at 7. Fisher and Monte played it beautifully. Jackson the rebound in motion. But look at 4 Jazz are back to stop the Warrior break. Jackson to the rim, putting it up and in and drawing the foul.
The weak side defense didn't close for him, and so they didn't think he'd get that far to the rim. But he just kind of climbed through all the traffic and all the entanglement. Watch him just get through there. See, Harpring didn't close it off, and he went to the other side. 3 Jazz defenders stay on the right side of the basket, and he goes by Brewer, goes by Harpring, goes by Boozer, lays it up, and has a chance for a three-point play.
Funny little moment there. That foul was called on Harpring. He hit Jackson on the arm.
Yeah.
He went to Benny Adams and said, "You sure it wasn't on number 9?" And Ronnie Brewer, the rookie, got the foul instead.
Well, you have to educate the officials. I've always said that. I'm serious.
Oh, that was funny.
There's a backdoor cut, and Petrus is aware of it. Of course, they dropped the ball.
Harpring coming off the screen. Biedrins, a quick outlet.
That was good defense by Mikal.
And Harrington right down the seam.
I tell you, there's a bundle of fast break points for the Warriors so far, and good-looking shots.
12 points in the paint, 6 fast break points so far. That's good, Jim, because they had taken 8 of their first 20 shots were threes. Boozer, tough take there, got his own rebound. And inside, Millsap unable to finish. Paul Millsap is the best rebounding rookie. He was a second-round selection. Another energy player for Jerry Sloan, and the steal off of Monte. Brewer, touch pass, that's pretty. So the Jazz defense fueling their fast break.
Boozer can run, and he loves to run to the rim. You can see the result.
Millsap and Harpring, Ronnie Brewer, Boozer, and Fisher. Steven Jackson. Monte, good look from the elbow. Off back iron.
Let's see if they trade 2 for 1. Should go right up with it.
Millsap never stop running. Biedrins, again, off a made basket, the Warriors run it right back down Utah's throat.
How many times have we seen that already in the first quarter? At least twice, maybe 3 times. And they also did it so fast, they trade 2 for 1, the Warriors do. Use the clock wisely.
But a wonderfully played quarter by both teams. A 5-second differential. Fisher will spin, go behind the back. Boozer gathers and lays it in.
He's had a big quarter. He's been their main cog.
Warriors can play for 1 now. Final 5 seconds. Harrington in the lane, had it knocked away, got it back. And Petrus couldn't get it up. So the Jazz shoot it at 50%. The Warriors at 44%. And yet the Warriors dig in defensively, run the fast break, and have the 1-point lead in a place where only 7 teams have come in and won. After the first 12 minutes, so far so good for the Warriors hanging around.
Yeah, decent first quarter for us there. Okay, we just saw earlier on there what everyone's calling the game of the season. Some people call it the best game in 40 years. There you go, that's one thing. Now here comes the weekend that belonged to Kobe.
Kobe Bryant and the Lakers looking to snap a 7-game losing streak. Starting in the 4th quarter, Zach Randolph drives inside for 2 of his 31 points. Blazers up 6. Lakers stay in it though. Kobe Bryant, a 3-pointer from Lamar Odom. That cuts the Blazers lead to 4. Kobe feeling it all night in a zone, knocking down triples left and right. Bryant cuts the Portland lead to 1. Now down by 3. Who else? Kobe Bryant, another triple, ties the game at 98. The Blazers a chance to go for the win. The rookie Brandon Roy across to Zach Randolph. He can't connect on the jumper. Kobe heaves it up at the buzzer. It's no good. The teams go to overtime tied at 98 in the extra session. It's the rookie LaMarcus Aldridge, the tough turnaround, Jay. He has 16 points, 10 rebounds in the game. Vintage Kobe here. Check out the work off the ball. Goes to the corner. Spins away from the defense. Makes the tough fadeaway 3 from the corner. It's the 4th highest Lakers total, 65 points. Blazers one last chance to rally, but Brandon Roy misses. The Lakers win 116-111. Coming off his 65-point performance on Friday, Kobe Bryant looks to lead the Lakers past the Timberwolves. Early on, Bryant on fire. He scored 14 points in the first quarter and finished the half with 22 points on 8 field goals. The last one right here, the tough turnaround over Marco Jaric. Lakers up 7 heading to the second quarter. Mike James to KG. Garnett, 26 points and 15 boards. The Lakers open it up in the 3rd. Kobe Bryant on the break for the lane plus the foul. Bryant 16 points in the 3rd quarter. Smush Parker taking it up court. The tough leaning reverse. Parker 19 points and 9 assists. Time winding down. Kobe from deep hits the pull-up 3. The Lakers up 19 heading to the 4th. The Wolves fight back. Ricky Davis to Mike James for the 3. The Wolves open the 4th quarter on an 18-4 run. Then the Timberwolves work it around to Ricky Davis. He knocks down the corner 3. Davis a team-high 33 points. But the Lakers answer back. Lamar Odom takes it strong to the hole for the hoop and the harm. Odom 16 points, 9 boards, 8 dimes. Walton ahead to Kobe Bryant. He throws it down. Bryant 50 in the game. Lakers win 109-102.
I'm sorry, but do me a favour. I mean, that's unreal. There you go. This is the way it's played. As you can see, it just to put this fella in context, largest 2-game point total of the last 40 years. There's Kobe last season. did it as well this weekend. As you can see, only got Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain around him, and as you can see also it's pretty impressive with two other players in the last 10 years with those back-to-back 50 games. It's really just the most impressive thing, and every time you kind of something can sometimes go wrong with Kobe. You know, this is off the back of of this kind of bitch slapping fest that he seems to have gone on over the last few weeks, and so what a way to answer.
And that was going to be my point as well. I think he's done it off the bat about pimp slapping anybody and whooping them upside the head. But I think what has happened is with Kobe is because he's such a fierce competitor. And he's been getting a lot of stick because of all the sucker punches and the sucker slaps
and
so
the
on.
whining about not getting the calls.
And he's literally come back and given it to him in another way, which he's supposed to do.
Yes.
And he's just stopped points on people. And they sent double teams after him. I mean, you saw that one play when he was literally triple teamed in a corner and he knocked down a 3-point shot. Now, any other play, you sit him down because of that wild thing. But you know that's part of Kobe's repertoire, and he can get it done. He can put points on the board.
Exactly
and then and also the other point is, don't forget, LA Lakers are in a little bit of a funk right now. So he's literally trying to dig them out of it, and he's doing it on his own.
Well, this is exactly the point, because it is a bit of a new outlook for the Lakers. It's a kind of whole new philosophy. For a start, Kobe's getting all those points, but he's saying Luke Walton and Lamar Odom both make my life easier. They're great passers, so teams just can't front me or overplay me in certain areas. So in other words, he's very, very aware of the fact that he now needs to talk in kind of like in team concept, even though he's racking up 100 and odd points himself. But Phil Jackson has now said, we're going to Kobe early. He had been playing the team role, but that's just not enough time. There's just not enough time now. In other words, Phil Jackson, who we know literally put a hold on Bryant taking the game by the scruff of the neck just probably a couple of 3 months ago, he's now actually telling the rest of his team, look, we're running out of time. Give the ball to Kobe.
Give it the ball to him, because there's no one in the league can stop Kobe Bryant when he's on his game. No one. There's no defender out there.
But Phil Jackson doesn't like, he's got a philosophy on the way that he game's
If you're
played.
a poker player, you've got to work with the cards you got.
True.
And right now, Phil Jackson is playing a very good game, because he's understanding, look, I haven't got aces up my sleeve or anything else like that. I've got a couple of cards that I need to work with. I've got one king, and I've got to use him the best way I can. And he's sending Kobe out, and he's telling the rest of the team, hey, this is the way we're going to win games. And it isn't failing right now. They're winning games.
Do you know the other biggest thing he did as well this weekend? He was confirmed as the biggest selling jersey seller in China. He's the number one.
Yao and chasing T-Mac.
He's number one. Then it's Iverson, T-Mac third place, Dwayne Wade fourth place, LeBron in fifth, and Yao Ming sixth in his own country.
I think Yao will be going for an American passport soon.
Kobe can do no wrong at the moment. Okay, Koki, we had a great little first quarter there. Lots of scoring, lots of free, open play. That's just the way we likes it. So let's see what's happening in Utah for the second quarter.
In Salt Lake City, Utah, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett with you as we begin the second quarter. Warriors with a 1-point lead. Josh Powell's first playing time. Jackson a deep three, and he got it. The fourth made Warrior three. Jackson and Harrington, Monte Ellis, Petrus, and Powell. Paul Millsap, Darren Williams. Along with Ronnie Brewer. Collins, one of the Stanford twins, and Harpering was fouled off the ball.
He's a little bulldog, and Petrus trying to front on him. And Harpering tries to intimidate you.
Absolutely.
Physically. You've got to stand up to him.
Well, one of the Warriors' wins occurred last year when Harpering gave up a three and flagrantly fouled Mike Dunleavy.
That's right.
He hit free throws, ended up being a 5-point sequence. Harpering missing there, but that's what Millsap does. Millsap is averaging nearly 5 rebounds a game. He was the 47th pick out of Louisiana Tech, and the Jazz had another power forward out of Louisiana Tech who was pretty good.
Yeah, Karl Malone kid was not bad.
Brewer missing.
Yeah, they're just not running the 2-on-1 properly. You've got to get the right angle. You have to have the right pass. That's twice they've kind of bungled that.
And on the road, every possession and every scoring opportunity so critical. There is Harpering. Working on the post on Petrus. Brewer, as you said, always looking to drive. Drops it to Jaron Collins. Blocked by Petrus, but a foul.
Got a good piece of the arm.
Michael will pick up the personal.
Sagging defense, and that just was a nice delivery pass from Ronnie Brewer.
In Utah, you can see Brewer and Millsap. Everybody runs the system. The playoff priority list. You can sign up for guaranteed playoff priority. If the Warriors are to get in, this is your way to be at those playoff games. 888-GSW-HOOP. Press 1 with operators ready to help you right now. Get on that playoff priority list. Jason Collins playing with the Nets. Jaron Collins here in Utah. Pretty similar players. Rugged defenders. Work hard inside. And Jaron Collins knocking down the free throws.
Don't look to score a lot.
Monte Ellis trying to drop it to Powell. And we've got an offensive foul. And there's Collins drawing the charge. Monte's had a couple charges.
Well, just nowhere to go on this play. And he tried to drop it inside. And because he's a little smaller, Brewer was a little taller, threw it over the top last time. He jumped in the air to make the play, and when you jump in the air, he tried to jump sideways and couldn't quite avoid the contact.
Matt Barnes has that wrap on the injured right hand. He and Jason Richardson now with Harrington, Monte, and Josh Powell. They feed Collins, and for Josh Powell, if Jaron Collins has the ball, what's he going to do from 12 feet?
Yeah, he couldn't hold up. He just overran the play defensively and ran into him.
Get a body Boozer or something, and that's a different story. So third Warrior team foul. We haven't even played 2 minutes here in the quarter.
Jason's doing a good job with Harpring. He can match him physically. They forced a 3-second violation on Millsap.
Never left the lane. Well, you hit on it confidence-wise. The Warriors are not intimidated by being here in Utah.
Not at all. They have a whole different persona.
The Jazz, the 4th best record in the NBA overall. 3rd best home record. That's a telegraph. Monte threw that away, and Brewer dunks it on the other end.
He just did not look because Brewer was there the whole time. Didn't even have to move.
Richardson thought about the 3. Say, Ronnie Brewer's been very active defensively.
His dad was always a good defender too. Lock-up kind of guy.
It's going to get Baron Davis back in the game.
And of course, you play defense for Jerry Sloan, you play a lot of minutes.
This is Don Nelson wanted to talk to Monte Ellis about the turnovers. There's been a couple charges and that pass thrown away, and on the road valuing the ball. Monte's improved so dramatically at the point guard as the season has gone on. Harrington 3, beating the shot clock buzzer on the draw and kick from Baron Davis.
Oh, Baron set that up. I mean, he absolutely juked Deron Williams, which isn't easy to do. He created all the sagging defense that opened it up.
Deron Williams feeding inside, Millsap. How did that kid last to the 47th pick?
He's good, isn't he? Active. Type of player that does hurt the Warriors, it seems.
Harrington again. Keep on firing, Big Al.
Is that the 4th one he's made?
Al Harrington with the 4 triples, 16 points to lead the Warriors. They have brought along the 3-point shooting on this road trip.
Baron did a nice job fighting through the screen, and Williams comes back.
Millsap off back iron, long rebound. Jason just couldn't control it. Brewer, pocket pick by Matt Barnes, but
if the Warriors had gotten that long rebound, Harrington had another dunk.
Well, instead of just out of bounds, they're going to call a foul on Barnes, and it's the 4th team foul by the Warriors. So 8:36 remaining in the half, and the Warrior perimeter shooting has come along for the ride.
Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming lead the Rockets into the Wachovia Center. Yao starting things off, the turnaround fadeaway J, capping a 12-0 Rockets run. Right here, it's Tracy McGrady burying the 3. Again, T-Mac stepping into the wing, popping the pull-up J. 12 points in the first quarter for T-Mac. The Rockets extend their lead. Off the press, Juwan Howard pulls up for the sweet runner in the lane. Then off the pick and roll, Tracy McGrady to Yao Ming for the slam. 24 and 10 for Ming. Rockets up 19 at the break. Pulling away. Trace McGrady knocks down the triple. He had 21. The Rockets, their biggest franchise road win, 124-74.
Oh, yeah, hang your head in shame, that's right. And then the Rockets, yet another formed team coming out of the West. But you can transfer that. See, the biggest road wins in NBA history. You can see that at the top there. You could turn that the other way around. Biggest losses on your own court. That's exactly what that was. 50 points back, as you can see there. And only just managed to beat that particular game from 2003. And then you go all the way back to 1986. They stunk Philadelphia up that night. Let's go back to our game.
All their points in this quarter have been three-pointers.
6 of 11 from the game overall. And of course, Al Harrington, 4 of 5. And Baron Davis even getting into the act. Steven Jackson, one of his 2 baskets is a 3. And you live with it, you die with it. But when you're getting open looks like this, how do you pass them up? The shot clock's winding down as well.
One of your Nissan keys was shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And the Warriors at 50% from the field and 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. But the problem now is you've committed 4 team fouls.
That's why they're going to the zone.
You don't want Utah living at the line the rest of the quarter. Deron Williams a triple. Barnes closed out. Rebound, tipped up and in. That was Collins on the glass.
As well as Powell. They couldn't clear it. Now Deron Williams takes that 3. He's a 32% shooter, but he'll make big ones. Into the game, he'll make it for you. It's a lot like Barron in that respect.
Second violation is Powell kept waiting for Barron to shoot.
But that's a mistake. You've got to just clear yourself out. You can see Barron juking back and forth, and that's the time to step out of the lane.
So Josh Powell will sit down, Biedrins back in.
By the way, Powell doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a pretty error-free basketball player, if you ask me.
It's Barnes at the head of that zone to bother three-point shooters at the top of the key. They're just dicing it up, but Harrington saves the day. Knocked it away from Collins. Richardson dropping to Barnes. Back to JR to lay it up and in.
Barnes is a good passer in the open court. He makes good open court plays. He can also finish plays himself.
Matt's playing with a hand that most of the time you would not be on the court with.
Yeah, he's playing with basically a fractured finger. It was dislocated as well.
Still pass, rebound, and defend. Shot clock at 4. Williams missing. Biedrins owns the glass and a chance to run again. Push ahead Barron. Richardson trail 3. Oh, that's pretty.
They're wild. Threes are wild tonight.
So Jay Rich now with 6. And the Warriors' biggest lead is right now. And Jerry Sloan's going to stop it. When the Warriors get out and run, they can be effective. And when the threes are dropping, you better look out. An 11-4 burst. Harrington starts it with the defense. Warriors able to push. And Jason Richardson finishing it off.
Got their work cut out, the Jazz, haven't they? We've got a great game for you next week as well. Kind of an equivalent one as well in terms of this one's in the East, mirror of our West game that we've got now. Cleveland Cavaliers absolutely running away with it at the moment. LeBron James on fire, 8 wins in a row. They're in good position. The Pacers are hanging on as we speak for the number 8 spot. And they've got their home court advantage in this one there. That will be our game next week. A crucial one from the East. The Cavs and the Pacers on air at 1 o'clock. Meanwhile, Golden State have really hit some form.
They got to slow down Carlos Boozer. That's 6 of 9 in that first quarter, 12 points to lead the Jazz.
Watch where he gets his points from. All in that lane area. He goes to the basket as hard as anyone in the league, and he is a bruising forward.
A bruising Boozer?
I'll tell you something. He's just powerful and just had that great run in Cleveland, got him that big contract.
Fisher with a deep 2 out of the corner.
By the way, I think they called Jason Richardson's a 2, not a 3, Bob. The Warriors still stuck on 6 made threes, and here's another one coming.
Al Harrington.
And now they've got 7.
Dropping it in.
I thought the little scorer's table was wrong.
Millsap inside. That's an offensive foul.
Warriors doing a better job of jamming it in. May have been moving on the play, could have called a block. Probably Jerry Sloan got up and asked him about that one.
The shot clock is not wound down. It stayed at 24, so Mike Callahan is going to correct that.
So let's correct this. So the Warriors do have 8 threes made?
8 threes, 8 of 13.
Because...
Don't look at that.
Yeah, I know. They printed up something here, and the Warriors had 6 before. To the break, Richardson had made the 7th, we thought, and they still had 6.
They were wrong.
All right. The official score. Now they've corrected it.
The Warriors are shooting 55%. And you think of 8 of 13. I mean, your Nissan Key of shooting the ball, Jim, couldn't be any more apropos. This is how you win on the road.
And Utah's in the top 10 in defensive percentage. Barron caught his own pass, and look at the jump out. It comes. Look at the rebound out.
And another 3 by Richardson.
I was going to say, look at the rebound come out. When you make your breaks, it just parlays itself.
Jason Richardson's got 10. Harrington's got 19.
Double-digit lead. That's kind of scary here.
Harpring always attacking the basket. And he caught his own shot. That's a travel.
Yep, he knows it. Good recovery defense just again. Barron had nothing to do but throw it up. He caught his own shot as it hit the board and bounded out to Jason, and he gets another 3.
That's just how you draw it up, Jim. What are you talking about?
But you know what? You do make your breaks when you hustle and you stick your nose in there and you play with confidence. Let's see if Monte can come back. He lost another one.
Monte's got 4 turnovers. And Fisher, the hook pass, and the Warriors were fortunate just to knock that out of bounds.
Monte redeemed himself there, saving a hoop. Hustling down. Just poking it away, those quick hands. But he's just trying to challenge too much traffic on the offensive end. Trying to jam it in there.
Biedrins, there is the 5th team foul. So the Warriors, they committed 4 fouls in about 3 minutes, and then just played 3.5 by committing just 1 foul.
I'll take that trade-off anytime, though, with Andres only picking up his first.
Absolutely. So that will send Boozer to the line, and Jazz are in the bonus the rest of the quarter. Well, the Stay in School Challenge is going on from March 5th to May 18th. Perfect attendance, and kids can win a chance to go to the 2007 MLB All-Star Fan Fest. Log on to fsnbayarea.com. And the Stay in School Challenge brought to you by FSN Bay Area, the Chronicle, KNBR, and Major League Baseball. Boozer knocking down a couple free throws. Carlos Boozer with 14. This is another 2nd-round pick. Look at Boozer and Millsap. He did pretty well at the power forward spot.
Well, now they're playing a zone.
Richardson floating, and the Warriors still are on fire in the quarter.
Jason wanted a foul as well, and he might have had a case for it. He diced up the zone.
Aaron Williams, a little push shot. And that wouldn't stay down, but there's Boozer. His wouldn't stay down. What's going on that end for the Jazz? Now, you say this sometimes, Jim, and you're right.
Yeah.
Tight rims. Both those layups were down.
And they just bounded out.
Harrington will sit with 19 points, 6 of 10 shooting.
See the ball. Everybody does.
Final 5 minutes of the half. I don't think the Warriors can play any better.
Boozer would like to drive this if he can't see anything else. See, there it is.
There's that little push shot. Boozer couldn't get the rebound.
He just killed Jackson on the rebound attempt. Don't get 3 happy. Move the ball.
Jackson back to Biedrins, and Andres able to dunk it down.
How about recovering when he initially lost it? How about those hands to get it back in the blink of an eye?
Andres is 4 of 4. He's got 8 points and 6 boards.
They're booing here. Jackson is such a good passer. He got juked on that one.
Nice crossover by Williams. Biedrins tipping. Barnes with the rebound, pushing it out.
Throw it across court. They got 2 guys over here, Ellis and Jackson.
Jay Rich wheeling around Fisher, banking it in. Richardson is absolutely feeling it.
He reminds me right there of Bernard King. When Bernard wouldn't give it up because he had something better in mind, he'll make the shot for you.
Jason's hit 5 straight shots, and 3 of them are threes.
That's why he stayed with it there, Bob.
Kirilenko feeding inside, and we got a foul.
They've got the Jazz fans here stunned in silence. That play a moment ago, did he thread the needle right under the arms of Carlos Boozer?
And as you said, Biedrins, perfect hands, little bobble there, doesn't get frazzled, just recover and continue the play.
He just got nice, soft, long fingers.
Derek Fisher to shoot a pair.
He's the best free throw shooter. He's not going to miss.
The FSN Bay Area All-Star Teacher Award. Nominate your teacher and your school could win up to $10,000 and that teacher wins it. Log on to FSNBayArea.com. Brought to you by the Chronicle KNBR.
Well, I talked about their best offensive rebounding team in the league, and I talked about Fisher, who shoots 86%. He missed, but the Warriors couldn't clear the rebound.
Well, Andres just pointed to himself. He said, that's me. He said, that's my mistake.
Well, he probably assumed that the shot was going to go in. They know all the stats of the opposition. Gives another possession, though.
Boozer the skip pass. Fisher out of the corner. And Derek Fisher is keeping Utah afloat. He's 4 of 7, got 9 points. It's a long 2.
Yeah, they're lucky it wasn't a 3. It would have been a 4-point sequence.
Monte get untracked a little bit.
Well, he's afraid to drive right there. I don't want to use that word afraid, but he's trying to be a little cautious. He didn't want to lose it.
Aaron sitting. Fisher again. And he's starting to feel it. That was a 3. Derek Fisher's got 6 straight. Don Nelson's going to stop it.
That foul down there just slowed the game down for the Warriors.
3:11 remaining in the first half. Richardson has gone crazy. His former teammate Fisher has answered back. And the Warrior double-digit lead has been trimmed to 9.
I think the home crowd needed that little trim down to get it into single digits as well there. Now, of course, one of the big things, big stories about Golden State this year, just to remind everybody, is that they were part of one of the most unusual trades, certainly the most unusual trade we've seen this season, where Indiana and Golden State fundamentally swapped squads, really, didn't they? Effectively. And this guy is probably the main one in that deal, isn't he?
Yes, Al Harrington, and basically Indiana's lost his Golden State's game. Here's where we see him finishing on the end of a fast break, and we've seen countless three-pointers made by him already in this game. But look at the strip on the defensive end, which leads to the fast break, and that was off the Al Harrington strip and an easy deuce at the other end. And here we see just a great play with him coming up once again with the wide open three-point shot.
Those, isn't he,
and not only is he playing offense, he's doing it on a defensive end. So he heads back down the other end. Utah trying to set up, see if they've got an opening. Ball's been moved around. Great drive, great sacrifice of the body. He grabs the charge, and that's just Al Harrington just being everywhere on the floor, doing everything. Right. And that's what you need one of your stars and your main scorers to do. Do the intangibles, sacrifice the body, do the hustle work, and he's just been playing extremely well on both ends.
And, you go back to that Indiana team when it was, Ron Artest was there and Jermaine O'Neal. Harrington was seen as one of the genuine assets for a team that people saw as one of the best out of the East. And yet they've had to kind of give him up. And as you say, their Golden State benefit as a result.
They are just not only they've become not a one-dimensional team now. Now they've got guys, as you see, Jason Richardson. He's hitting big shots from the outside.
Yes.
Baron Davis is doing his thing at the point. So they are just doing it from all sides, and more importantly, they're doing it on the defensive end. However, Utah finding a little bit, seeing a little bit of daylight at the end of the tunnel, trying to find their way back in.
That's right. Utah are a tough team, but Golden State have got their noses well in front.
Well, the Utah Jazz cutting it to 9 with 3:11 remaining in the first half. 25-7 here at home. A phenomenal team. Our player profile brought to you by Corona, the official sponsor of the Timeout. And Jim, pronounce the hometown of Andrei Kirilenko.
Yashevsk.
Good shot at it. And Masha, his wife, is a pop star. AK-47, Quincy Lewis gave him that nickname.
Yeah, it's about 550 kilometers southeast of Moscow.
I was going to say, I saw that and I wanted to buy a vowel immediately.
And I just made that up, by the way. I have no idea where that city is.
You said it with conviction.
I know, and you believe me.
Barnes trying to get it to Biedrins, and the Warriors turning it over. So Barnes and Azubuike, Kalena's first playing time, with Richardson, Biedrins, and Jackson.
But the fast pace of the game for the Warriors and the points they've scored, it's not an enormous number of turnovers thus far, particularly when you consider that Monte Ellis has 4 of the 7 so far.
Okur, very rugged drive and multiple steps as he walks.
That's one of the reasons that he stays outside a lot. And he's not as adept at going inside and avoiding contact or getting to the rim and getting space as Carlos Boozer is.
Can the Warriors finish the half with momentum? That's the key. Is they had the 15-point lead. They were in control.
Well, the game slowed down for him here.
Barnes from deep. Richardson and Karolinko. Aaron Williams heading out the other way.
Stopped the ball. Didn't stop it.
Okur deep position there. Biedrins just backed away. That's how you avoid fouls.
Okur tried to initiate a foul there and get a call, and he didn't concentrate on the hoop. Jackson has an easy 2 here if he makes that.
Kalena kept it alive, but here's Utah on the counterattack.
That's a shot Jackson really likes and normally makes.
Aaron Williams, pocket pick by Richardson.
Richardson's playing the best defense of his career, bar none.
Jason,
in all aspects.
The energy, the effort, the shot blocking, taking charges.
But watch the retreat. Watch the retreat even from Jay Rich there. Just reaches in, made sure that he didn't step in and get too much contact.
He knocked it out of bounds.
He wanted that off Darren Williams on that one. He worked so hard. You got to love his heart.
Now, the offense has been wonderful in the second quarter for Jason. Fisher and Boozer splits the defense to Karolinko inside to the rim. And we've got a foul.
Well, he was in the restricted area.
And it will be a blocking foul.
And once again, those tight rims, or apparently tight rims, knocks that ball out. This ball was going down. How many times did it hit the inside of the rim? Easy shot, you would think. 1, 2, 3, bounces around and out.
You know, the scary thing is you switch at halftime.
Yeah, I know.
You don't want to shoot on that rim.
Well, maybe all the misses will be used up.
Karolinko dropping in the free throw. So 7 straight for Utah after the Warriors had built a 15-point lead.
That's the kind of year it's been for Karolinko, though. That shot would normally go down for anybody, and he doesn't go down.
Knocking down a couple free throws.
But had a chance for a 3-point play. Yeah, so now that lead has dwindled down to 7. After it's been up to 15.
You don't have Barron on the floor. You don't have Monte Ellis on the floor.
But you got Jay Rich.
And that's good enough. Jay Rich has got 16. Barnett's calling him before the ball leaves his hand.
That's the shot, though, that he loves. And I think that you can, get into the offense more so he doesn't have to do too much with it. Come off and explode. No dribbling. Look at Jay Rich got there. He disrupted that ball and nearly went off Karolinko.
Jason just so active. We talked to Keith Smart last home game about deflections, but
well, watch the rotations. See, he's playing it like Monte Ellis. We see Monte do that a lot.
11 to shoot for Utah.
Everybody getting in on the act.
Fisher is tripped and more free throws.
Now you know he's going to come back right. So Azubuike overcommitted and he stopped on a dime and then he came back to the middle. He's a very predictable ball player.
These will be free throws 13 and 14 for Utah. We mentioned how they got into the bonus and got all the team fouls early in the quarter.
He made it 1 of 2 last time, and percentages, he'd make them both here.
Well, complimentary parking for Phoenix, courtesy of Visa Signature. Well, the first 500 valid Visa Signature card owners getting the free parking when the Suns come to town. Log on to Warriors.com and get information on that Visa Signature offense, or offer. I was thinking of the offense in that the Warriors have committed 13 fouls to Utah's 5. And you don't want to stop the game, as you're talking about, Jim, because the Warriors have run so beautifully.
Visa loves you to be offensive, I'll tell you that. They love you to
be aggressive with that Visa Signature card?
Absolutely. Jason wants the traffic to clear. He has a dribble left, so that keeps Darren Williams at bay.
Oh, Richardson is on fire!
He just waited for the area to clear, and then that live dribble enabled him to move Williams away from the ball.
Jason has 16 points in the quarter and has yet to miss a shot.
Did they give one of his threes to Al Harrington?
Yes, they did.
That's even a question. He might have more. Might have traveled again.
Oh, illegal defense on the Warriors, another technical free throw.
All right, no dribble. One dribble to fade away and back, but not to get him a better position. And then he comes off that down screen, curls up, no dribble, straight up and in.
Jason is 7 of 7 this quarter from the field. And only the foul line keeping the Jazz around. They're 13 of 15. Warriors 3 of 3.
But the Warriors have racked up 58 points against the Jazz, who are normally a stingy team.
30-point quarter for the Warriors, 16 by Richardson. Shot clock at 5. Darren Williams to Boozer. A little pull-up is in.
We're going to trade 2 for 1 here. Get a shot within 6 seconds.
Jackson, a quick one, and he is fouled. Stephen Jackson will get to the line.
Did that with 32.2 left.
You know the nice thing about it, and it started really in training camp, you know, they don't even need to look to the bench. Don Nelson believes in the 2 for 1. All his players know that. It's a free possession.
But it took Jackson and Harrington a couple of weeks.
While, yeah, that's a good point.
To really understand it and to really believe that you have that much freedom and a real green light to come down and initiate something.
Stephen Jack knocking down the free throw. The things that Nelly did in training camp, we're going to outlet every time. I want the big to look up court and throw it. I want to do 2 for 1. I mean, they're paying off now.
Well, you see Andres Biedrins is getting a larger outlet pass than we've seen earlier in the season. And the players also are catching the ball nearly half court a lot, which they were never doing before.
So and the free throws knocked down.
They had to be trained that way.
Now Utah, they're not going to race it into the 2 for 1. About an 8-second differential.
You get a stop here and then score in your own right. And usually at Utah it goes the other way. Let's see if they can make a difference.
There's Boozer, and he's fouled.
The weak side needed to collapse toward the ball.
Well, the fortunate thing for the Warriors is you commit 14 fouls in a half, and yet only Barnes has 3.
Watch the weak side. Jason comes up, and that vacates the baseline area. And again, Stephen Jackson just was a little late in getting down to protect.
But Richardson has only 2. Biedrins has only 1. Barron has only 1. Stephen Jackson has only 1. And Harrington has yet to commit a foul. So it's been the bench, Monte, Peterson, Barnes, and Powell, that have racked up all the personals.
Now let's see what they're going to do in this last possession. Are they going to wind it down a little bit, or are they going to try to run it down and get one as quickly as they can, no matter what?
Boozer's had a monster half. 17 and Fisher's 15, leading Utah.
And who's going to initiate this? They're
missing there.
They blocked out.
Barnes will push ahead to Azubuike with 7, and Kalena turns it over.
He tried to make a move, just bounced it off his thigh and got pressured by Fisher. Now you want to pressure here in the backcourt a little bit.
Darren Williams at 2, at 1, a lean-in 3, and the Warriors dodge 1. So up 1 after the first 12 minutes. Build a 15-point lead, but the Jazz very good at home. A surge of their own. The lead is 7 as we hit the break.
And that's one of those deals when you look at those faces coming off the court and you're trying to register who's the happier with that quarter, with those 2 quarters, and you might think that perhaps the Jazz might be a little bit more upbeat.
The home team are finally getting in their stride right now. More importantly, knocking shots down. Guys were really struggling before. I mean, Mehmet Okur, he started off kind of hot, then went freezing cold. Karolinko, I mean, he's just missing. He just can't buy a basket. No. And right now, I think Deron Williams is doing a real good job keeping the minute, knocking down open shots, and obviously Derek Fisher.
And the good thing is, you know, for people who may have doubted us, now they can see why Golden State are a form team, because that was a decent first half performance.
And not only that, though, Don Nelson just literally got his whole bench in there. I mean,
exactly.
Kalina Azubuike got on the floor. What many people might not know, he also is British-born as well, and has access to a British nationality. But he came in the floor.
Another one for the Olympics.
Possibility, you know. But he's one of these guys that they put in there as a utility player, grab some fouls. Yeah, they can use up and waste some fouls on him whilst getting other guys rest. So it's a good strategic move by Don Nelson. And you can't be really upset at how his teams play. They've been playing very, very good on offense, and more importantly, they've been playing well on defense.
Absolutely right. Well, of course, we've got the whole of that second half still to come, and clearly it's going to be a tight game, but we've got action for you now. Again, highlights from around the last 7 days. Let's start on Wednesday. The Knicks were at the Raptors.
Isaiah Thomas and the Knicks in the thick of the playoff hunt. but it's the Raptors. A quick start. Andrea Bargnani, the tough turnaround jumper to cap an 11-0 Raptors run. Time winding down. Stephon Marbury, another three. 5 in the game. New York up 6 at the half. TJ Ford on the drive. Dishes to Chris Bosh for the three-point play. Knicks down by 11 to start the fourth, but Stephon Marbury hits the floater for 2 of his 31 points to get the Knicks within 5. TJ Ford feeds Jorge Garbajosa for the 3. Ford ties his career high with 18 assists in the game. Toronto taking care of business. Chris Bosh buries the jumper, and the Raptors top the Knicks 104-94. Andre Iguodala and the Sixers go for their 8th straight home win. Showtime in the second quarter. Iguodala, the sick windmill slam. Take another look as he throws it down with force. Now in the fourth, Bulls down 2. Ben Wallace feeds Luol Deng for the two-hand slam. Deng with 20, game tied at 84. Sixers down 1. Iguodala the lob to Samuel Dalembert for the alley-oop slam to give Philly a 1-point lead. On the other end, Kirk Heinrich has the answer as he hits the jumper. Bulls go up 1. 2.6 seconds left. Philly a chance to win. The inbound to Iguodala, but he can't connect. The Bulls edge the Sixers 88-87. Yao Ming broke a bone in his knee the last time these two teams met. A better result this time. Yao Ming 14 points in the game. Rockets up by 1. 1 minute left in the game. Elton Brand hard to the hole for the slam past Ming. Brand a season-high 37 points. With the Clippers up 1, Rockets need an answer. Luther Head delivers the three-pointer from Tracy McGrady. The Clippers a chance to take the lead or go for the tie, but Yao Ming forces the turnover and the Rockets win 109-105.
We head out to the Meadowlands with the New Jersey Nets. We're back at home, entertaining the Miami Heat, who enter the game having won 7 straight. They're 8-2 without Dwayne Wade so far, and they try to keep it going early on in the first quarter. The big fella, the diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, with a running hook. Miami opens up the game on a 7-0 run. Still in the first, Jason Williams over to Alonzo Mourning, who throws it down with one hand at the end of the first quarter. Miami up 23-19. Second quarter action, New Jersey and the home whites getting into their offense. That is Vince Carter creating for himself. Carter ended the game with 12 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. That pulled the Nets within 2. Backup point guard Marcus Williams playing like a starter, driving and then finding Mikey Moore. Eventually, the kid feed gets it to Mikey, and Mikey puts it in for 2. The Nets take a 1-point lead. Time winding down in the second quarter. Boshjan Nakbar with 5.8 to go in the half. And at the end of the half, the Nets had a 45-43 lead. Heat not going away on the road. Shaquille O'Neal putting Miami back in front by 2:53-2:51. Now Jason Williams. He had a fantastic night handing out the ball. There's an assist to Udonis Haslem. On the night, Jason Williams had 12 assists. Miami as a team had 28 assists as opposed to just 8 turnovers. Again, Williams pushing behind the back. Eventually, O'Neal, the reverse off the window for 2. Miami up 64-56. We head to the fourth quarter. Richard Jefferson, his first game at home since January 20th, off the J. Kidd putback. Vince Carter finding Jefferson again. He led the Nets with 20 points. And that one goes. Miami led by just 2. But in the end, Shaquille O'Neal, way too much. He finished with 19 points. The Heat win their 8th straight. Final score 93-86.
Shaquille O'Neal tries to lead the Heat to their 9th straight win. Jay Will to Shaquille O'Neal, who backs in for the lane. Heat up 7 at the end of the first quarter. In the second, on the break, Eddie Jones, one of his 5 first-half three-pointers. The Heat leading by 11 at the break. A good game for Ron Artest, getting the kick out from Kevin Martin for 3 of his game-high 32 points to pull the Kings within 10. Heat on the run again. Jason Williams pulls up and knocks down the 3. Miami 13 of 21 from the arc. Antoine Walker gets into the act, knocks down a 3 of his own. Shaquille O'Neal caps it off with the two-hand slam. The Heat win 103-97. The Knicks wearing limited edition green St. Patrick's Day uniforms. Pick it up in the fourth. Nate Robinson the steal and the pass to Ronaldo Balkman for the alley-oop dunk. Hornets down 2. Chris Paul to Rasul Butler for 3. Butler a perfect 5 of 5 from the arc in the game. Later in the fourth, tied at 90, Chris Paul feeds David West for the go-ahead jumper. The Knicks with a chance to tie or take the lead. Stephon Marbury drives, misses the lane. He gets the rebound back and kicks it out to Channing Frye. Frye can't connect on the jumper. Last chance for the Knicks. Steven Francis has it, pulls it out for the game-winning 3, but that's off, and the Hornets hold on to win 92-90. Steve Nash and the Suns coming off a tough loss in Detroit, meeting up with Allen Iverson and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets running early. Blake finds Iverson on the break for the lay-in. 44 points for Allen Iverson in this contest. Anthony now gets it from AI for the slam. Denver up 12 at the end of the first. Denver pouring it on to Nene, tipping it to J.R. Smith. J.R. behind the back to Nene for the bucket. Then it's Melo working in the post. He gets the layup to fall. Time winding down in the first half. AI to Canby for the baseline J. Nuggets up 26 at the half. Iverson pouring it on in the third. Driving to the hole for the lay-in. Allen Iverson working the perimeter, nailing the long 2. Iverson 22 in the quarter, 44 in the game. Nuggets win. The Mavericks looking to take advantage of a Detroit Pistons team playing without Chauncey Billups. Jason Terry on the attack early, knocking down the baseline jumper. The Pistons finish the first half strong. Flip Murray to Antonio McDyess for the tough layup plus the foul. McDyess, one of 6 Pistons in double figures in the game. The two teams battle back and forth in the second half. Dirk Nowitzki follows for the lay-in. Mavs up by 2. Weber comes up with the steal. Pistons on the break. Flip Murray finds Rip Hamilton for the lay-in, tying the game at 67. Jason Terry working in the fourth. The baseline runner falls. Dallas up by a bucket. Then Terry feeds Dirk for the tough turnaround J to beat the shot clock. Nowitzki 28 points and 12 boards. Under 30 seconds, Pistons down 6. Flip Murray cuts that deficit in half with the triple. After the Mavs make one free throw, Flip Murray back on the attack. He lays it in, but the Pistons not enough for the comeback. The Mavs win 92-88. Dwight Howard and the Magic head to South Beach to take on Shaquille O'Neal and the Heat, looking to win their 10th straight game. Dwight Howard baseline for the reverse slam, tying the game at 10. Magic breaking. Hedo Turkoglu with a nice ball fake for the driving lane. Patrick Ewing liking the action. Darrell Wright getting some burn driving baseline for the wicked reverse slam. Jameer Nelson on the push, bringing it up court and hitting the pull-up J. Orlando up 18 at the half. In the third, Miami looks inside to Shaquille O'Neal. He hits the hook. Shaq Daddy a team-high 20. Off the miss, Darko Milicic follows for the lefty tip-in. Magic up big in the fourth. Milicic tips it away, forces the break. Redick, the alley-oop to Keon Dooling. Orlando wins 97-83. The Knicks looking to bounce back after a tough loss against the Hornets. Early on, Chris Bosh working in the post, hits the turnaround hook in the lane. Then Steve Francis gets it to Channing Frye. Frye would knock down the jumper. The Raptors up 1 heading to the second quarter. Toronto swings it around, getting it inside to Chris Bosh for the dunk and the damage. Bosh a team-high 21. Raptors up 2 heading into the third, but Marbury takes over. The sweet find to Ronaldo Balkman for the two-hand slam, and Marbury scoring on offense. 14 points in the third quarter, hitting the 3. Another 3 here for Marbury, capping a 27-5 Knicks run. They're up 20 points. In the fourth quarter, Ronaldo Balkman, another lane. He was 7 of 7 from the floor, 15 points for Balkman. Steve Francis gets into the action. He hits the 3. The Knicks win 92-74.
And let's have a little close look at the way it's breaking down. Now, this is coming into tonight. There are big games going on this evening. We'll update you on those a little bit later on. We'll show you how it reflects in terms of the divisions during the course of the second half of our game, which, of course, is in Utah. Now, there you go. We alluded to this a little bit earlier on. Let's home in on where it gets really tasty, which, as well, we know is that race for the 8th spot. And look at that. Basically, that's the same record, whichever you really look at it. You know, 30 wins or 31 wins, couple of losses under your belt.
2 spots, 4 teams.
Exactly right. This is proper tooth and nail stuff. Let's show you what they've got to do to get themselves into that 7 or 8 spot. Here's just a little closer look for you. Now, just taking those 5 games per team in a row. Anyone jump out you there, Andre?
Well, I'd say the Magic have the easier run. I would say with Toronto, New York, Boston, Indiana. I think that how those are games that they can actually, win.
Look, Toronto,
win at least
Nets,
4
New
out
York
of 1.
playing each other.
But then you're looking at the Knicks. They've
Indiana.
got tough. They've got tough. I mean, they've got Dallas, they've got Cleveland, they've got Orlando, and they've got Cleveland twice. And then you look at the Pacers. Well, forget about it. They're going up against the top teams, the hottest teams in the league. So I think they'll dump at least 4 of those games. If they're lucky, they might sneak 1.
That's also coupled with a bit of wishful thinking on his part. But there's a load of 6-pointers in there. That is a thrilling way to kind of wind up the season in the East, that's for sure. We saw Miami were just a little bit out of it as well, by the way. Miami are going okay. And the interesting thing about Miami is that they're going okay without a certain Dwayne Wade. Now, Dwayne Wade has been talking recently about the situation, and he said himself, physically I'm doing good, working out every day, doing what they're telling me to do. Pat Riley has also been discussing it. He says he seems to be progressing, he feels stronger, but we won't know for a while when exactly he'll start to play. So Wade has been missing, but Shaq stepped up. With our number one option out, he says, Pat asked me to use my experience to get everyone involved. We've got a lot of veterans who know what to do when it's time to step up, and this has been exactly the case. Not only has Shaquille O'Neal himself been playing some fantastic ball at both ends of the court, Eddie Jones, for example, this man here has come into this team, come back to play alongside his old colleague Shaquille O'Neal, come back to Miami, and he has come back, and since his return, 16-4. Averaging 16 points, every other shot, 53% shooting record as well. It's incredible, isn't it?
Well, I've been dogging Miami from the jump, saying that their team's far too old, they've got too many injuries, and they'll be lucky if they make the playoffs. But they've just literally proved me and everybody else wrong, because what they've done is they've banded together and used this negative energy that everybody, including myself,
the big fella
giving them.
is the fella who does that, doesn't he?
And what they've done is been showing, going back to, as Shaq says, their experience. They've got a lot of experience on that team, and now it's proving them good, because what's happening now is coming down the stretch, a lot of these young players don't know how to keep that consistency, whereas these guys have been there, done it, and what they're doing is they're collaborating together, coming together, playing as one unit, and more importantly, putting their experience to good use and coming up with big wins and getting that kind of consistency you need going into the playoffs.
Much in the way that that Houston regrouped when Yao was out, and they did exceptionally well. Since Dwayne Wade's injury, they're 10-3, and that just goes to prove that, as you say, that clearly there's some big heart in Miami, and I must say, and the first few months it didn't look like that.
They've got to be playing with that chip on their shoulder as well, because don't forget, they are still the defending champions. They want to get back to the finals. They've heard and they've read all the reports and negative reports saying that how they can't do it again. But what they've done is they've said, right, let's go out there and prove everybody wrong. Now, the truth of the matter will be when Dwayne Wade comes back, how they will incorporate him back into a winning
because clearly they've got a system and it's working. They're going to want the momentum. Does this provide them with that? Now, this is the way they've got to do their business. Have they secured themselves a top 8 finish, do you think?
I would say so, because I mean, even if we just look at the first 5 games, those are all winnable games against sub 500 teams. So they should win those. And I think then the big test will be Sunday the 1st of March, when they go up against Detroit. They travel to Detroit.
Good test.
They go to Toronto, who are pretty hot right now. Then at Cleveland, Boston, Charlotte, they should be able to take care of. But looking at that, I think that's a very favourable schedule to finish up your season.
They're probably going to be thinking that by the time they get to to be on the road in Detroit and Cleveland, that they've got enough under their belt that they're losable games. But as you say, because then as soon as Cleveland's out of the way, they're going to like that running, aren't they?
Not only that, though, they're losable games. However, you still want to win those games because you want that momentum to take you into the playoff. And more importantly, Pat Riley will start introducing schemes that they will intend to use in the playoffs as far as defense and offense.
But they will want way back because all them old men, they've got to stay fit. That's the other thing as well, isn't it?
Get the ice out.
That's right, yeah. There'll be ice bags all over the shop. This is where the West is breaking down. As I say, just to reiterate, the fact is that there'll be other games that we'll be updating later on. This is as we came into this evening. So this is the way the Western Conference stands at the moment. Of course, we've been analysing this as the night goes on because our team in 8th spot there is playing tonight and they're winning at the moment. This is the little race going on there for that playoff slot. It looks a little more open. Are the Lakers out of there now? What would you feel on that, Andre?
If Kobe continues doing what he's doing and leaves the bit, as you said, the pimp smacking alone, then you're going to see them definitely in a playoff. But the struggle's going to be whether the Clippers, their neighbours, can actually find some kind of form to get themselves back in the mix. But
they were there like a few weeks ago. They were well in there, weren't they?
They were there last year. But
yeah, that's true, yeah.
They've just literally fallen off. If they can find some kind of consistency, that will then put the pressure on the Lakers and Golden State. But Golden State and the Lakers, even if Golden State go ahead and lose tonight, I would still say that they're one of the more favoured teams to actually make it to that 8th spot.
Let's see if this kind of clarifies it at all. As we saw, we just saw so many of the matchups in the East. There was teams basically playing each other to get that situation sorted out. Now. Look at, Charlotte, you're not going to like that. I mean, that is horrible, isn't it? They've got to play the Lakers, Houston, Dallas and San Antonio. They've got the Texas finish.
And then they got, if you look at, go on the other side, you got to look at the Clippers. Clippers have got to go to Chicago. And then basically, I think they've got a pretty decent run. However, barring Washington and Milwaukee, Utah, Houston are going to be 2 serious games. And then we look at tonight's team, I think that they've got a tough running in the next 5 games because you're going up against some very tough teams and the Lakers aren't going to want to give up anything to them.
Especially because if you take the Kings and the Timberwolves there who kind of look out of it, and yet, okay, they've both got Phoenix in their schedules, but there's some winnable games. So you may have a team coming on the rails there, mightn't you?
You might, but then you go back to the Kings and they've got to play Phoenix twice, and then they've got to play the Lakers. It's going to be a tough ask for Sacramento.
Absolutely right. So as you can see, obviously our big plan there was to clarify the picture, and we've just muddied the waters even further for you.
Looking at our crystal ball,
it's our job.
The future is clear.
But hopefully that gives you something to work with there. Let's give some people something to work with in terms of the second half of this game here. We always talk about this. The road team would be delighted with that lead, but it is slender, isn't it?
It's small. They've done a good job of keeping the crowd out of the game. At one stage in that game, I think it was around the midway through the second quarter, I could hear some boos.
That's right, when it was in double-figure lead, wasn't it? Yeah.
Coming from the Utah crowd. So that if they can keep the crowd like that and keep them on their side, keep them out of the basketball game and get the crowd to get on the Utah, I think that how Golden State will pull this one out. I think that they need to get into the running up and down game because transition defense for Utah is quite poor right now. So they'll do a real good job. But if they go into a half-court set, I think they're playing right back into that pick-and-roll situation where they can get Utah can get easy baskets, and if you're Golden State, you don't want to see that.
Basically getting back to their system. If they can get back into their system, they can do some damage. Good point. Okay, second half still to come. The whole of the second half coming for you now. And as I say, some crucial scores will also be thrown in there into the mix as we go through this second half. Let's rejoin our commentary team, Bob Fitzgerald and Jim Barnett.
The Warriors up 7 as we get ready to start the second half. Al Harrington and Jason Richardson taking turns. Al took care of the first quarter with 10 of his 19. Jason 16 of his 18 in the second quarter in building the 7-point lead.
Well, terrific field goal percentage. We talked about that. And when you shoot that kind of percentage, you're going to have the lead most nights out. And I guarantee you, Jerry Sloan let him have it at halftime. He won't tolerate that kind of offensive output against his club.
So Monte Ellis starts the second half, as he has been doing since Baron came back from surgery. Baron Davis played only 10 minutes in that first half, had 5 points and 6 assists. Richardson feeding Biedrins inside. He gathers, but Kirilenko blocked the shot. Aaron Williams, Okur, Fisher, Boozer, and Kirilenko. And Steven Jackson, good steal. Jackson, Biedrins, Al Harrington, Monte Ellis, and Richardson. JR, the halftime didn't cool him off at all.
I'll tell you what, when you get one in the corner like that, it's like a free throw. It really is. When you're in your rhythm, that line at 22 feet is nothing for you.
8 straight makes for Richardson, 9 of 11 in the game.
You know, scary.
Boozer,
going to call it
offensive foul. Monte draws the charge.
He got out in front of the restricted area. The steal. Jackson comes down, goes just into the middle. and just creates open territory for Jason Richardson. I'll tell you what's scary. Darren Williams didn't score in the first half. Kirilenko only 4.
Monte to the rim, just hang, and Boozer pulling it off the iron.
Darren Williams was 0 of 7.
The alley-oop. Williams didn't score, but he has 9 assists now in the game.
I just was going to add that in.
Yeah. Averages a little over 9, second best in the NBA.
But he still took 7 shots and didn't make any.
Steven Jackson. Warriors living behind the line. So far to good effect and an offensive rebound. Jackson to the rim, and he's fouled. And Boozer got him before Kirilenko blocked the shot.
Well, it's tough to defend this when you can throw over the top and Kirilenko has an angle in a lane. You're just not going to stop that.
Boozer picking up his 3rd foul. Steven Jackson, an 80% free thrower, knocking that down. Good floor game for Steven Jackson with 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Barron's got the 6 assists. Jason and Al doing most of the scoring.
And as Don Nelson has been doing, like you said, bringing Monte Ellis in to start the second half and resting Barron. And this unit seems to play pretty well together.
Warriors perfect at the line, 7 of 7.
And Monte's got to do a better job on Fisher. Fisher had 15 points in that first half. Can't lose your focus on him.
Core deep position. And Kirilenko was 3 seconds, and Kirilenko was also out of bounds. Either way, Utah turns it over. Saw the blue swarm go at Okoro, though, when he got the ball.
But Okoro is mainly a space player. In other words, he likes to space out on the big man and shoot the outside jumper. He's not nearly as effective under the hoop as Boozer. I mean, he's capable. But Boozer's going to get it or get to the line. That's a couple of 3 seconds we've seen on Okoro, by the way, today.
This is as quiet as I've heard this building. That's because the Warriors have silenced the crowd here. Monte was shoved out of bounds.
Now, is Benny Adams going to give him a shot? No, he's going to stay outside.
And that's used to be the old force out. But you got to call a foul now because they don't have them.
Warriors have gotten some points off that out of bounds play. We've seen Monte dunk it down, but Darren Williams read it all the way. Clearly not a shot attempt. This is a good play for Monte here.
Monte curled, and we got a foul on the drive. So this is the exact opposite of the second quarter, Jim, where it was the Warriors that put up all the team fouls. It's 3 team fouls on Utah in the first 2 minutes here in the third.
And then if they can get their running game established again and rebound the ball at the defensive end, you're off and going. But I like that little pinch area where Monte comes around is a good play for him. He can shoot it or turn the corner.
Harrington having knocked away, but it goes right to Richardson. And he finally misses after 8 straight makes.
But again, ball bounces long and Jackson runs it down.
Harrington, step back on Boozer and dropping it through.
These guys they have the offensive flow going. And Harrington, who was 6 of 10 in the first half, cleans up. And Richardson, who was 8 of 10, 1 for 2 so far in this half.
Wish I was playing blackjack because Harrington's got 21 and Jason's got 21. Fisher from deep. That's another 2. Derek Fisher 17, Boozer 17.
Can't turn your head and lose where Derek is.
Jackson from long range, a deep 2 for Steven Jack. Third Warrior in double figures now, so he's got a dozen.
That shot for him comes so effortlessly. He just goes right into it. Doesn't matter if he's going left or right. He's just comfortable shooting it.
Boozer at the elbow, looking for cutters. Knocked away by Jackson. The ricochet, though, to Darren Williams. And back to Boozer.
That's a tough break. Heck of a play. This ball almost goes out of bounds here, but heck of a play by Jackson. So with Barron out.
Kirilenko forcing the steal. Okoro, that trail 3. Boozer inside.
Oh, he's tough, isn't he? He gets position. You don't take it from him.
Boozer, 21 points, 12 rebounds.
You don't get the position back, and you don't get the ball.
Utah's been pounding it inside all night. Biedrins blocked. Weak side, Kirilenko. Darren Williams running it back at Richardson and laying it up and in. Don Nelson's going to stop it. Utah's made a run here with Kirilenko leading the way. 8:04 remaining in the third.
But they were up by 7. They've only lost 1 point to that.
8 straight by the Jazz.
Other news for you from around the league. As you can see, the Bucks have got rid of Terry Stotts after a losing record and 2 years. His assistant and the former stalwart of the team, Larry Krzysztofiak, has come in to take over for now. And he's got a 2-0 record thus far, beating the Spurs and Charlotte. But Terry Stott, he's gone.
Yeah, I think I am fresher than I have been, than previous years. But it's still a part of me just not really at my same level of intensity of just playing basketball. Just my dribbling, my shooting is not where I really wanted to be at. But as far as my condition and my body, it's way better than in shape than I was in the past.
Well, Jason, the broken hand ended up being a blessing in disguise. It allowed the surgically repaired knee to heal, and then he lost almost 15 pounds working with Mark Grabo.
Wow.
And it got leaner and lighter, and Jason is fresher. And it's apparent, Jim, I think the more he has played since coming back from the broken hand, the better he has played.
Well, and that'll bode well for the playoffs.
I like how you say that.
When and if they get there, right? Yeah. When they get there, I should say.
Utah scored the last 8. Richardson rimming that out. So Williams and Fisher, Boozer, Kirilenko, and Okur.
Richardson hurt himself a little bit. He's wincing and limping.
Kind of turned that ankle when Darren Williams went at him on the previous play. Kirilenko, great catch inside, but Jason knocking it away, and Harrington with a steal.
Jason just absolutely knocked it away, but knocked Kirilenko out of the play.
Jackson looking for Biedrins. He's got him.
When Baron Davis is out of the game, it's not necessarily Monte runs the team as a point. They leave it in Jackson's hands a lot. Don Nelson's very comfortable with Steven Jackson initiating.
Well, Andres now 5 of 7 for the Warrior 5 starters in double figures. Boozer, he is just having an incredible night. Carlos Boozer's 10 of 15, 23 points, 12 rebounds.
Well, he's their Karl Malone.
That was growing up in Alaska. That was his boyhood idol. Biedrins will pick up kind of a cheap offensive foul.
Well, Benny Adams caught the second one.
Because Okur got him first.
Okur is pushing on him. Biedrins trying to just clear a little space. Neither of them, he doesn't have the ball. These are big men battling for a little position. You let him play.
Andres' second foul. Darren Williams, and that ball was kicked. Utah ball out of bounds.
Still haven't solved that pick and roll. And how about the Warriors pick and roll? Jackson, he just keeps Carlos Boozer in the middle of the floor by keeping the dribble alive and holding on to it just a little bit longer. And that enabled Biedrins to get inside to the position that he wanted, and enabled him to also then thread the needle on the pass.
Baron Davis checking in. Darren Williams.
They run the pick and roll a lot better with Boozer.
And that one deflected.
Wide open.
Jay Rich swooping in the lane, just couldn't get it over the iron. Darren Williams directing traffic.
He's not looking to shoot. Another deflection.
And that one deflected again. And the Warriors very active hands.
So we got the starting 5 with Baron Davis back on the floor. Let's see what they do, how they operate.
Warriors led by 1 at the end of 1. They led by 7 at halftime.
What they're trying to avoid is just continue their offense and not let the Jazz get it going.
Well, there is Darren Williams. His second made field goal, that layup in the open floor, now his first jump shot. He's 2 of 9 shooting. Other side for Jason on Fisher, beating him up a little bit. And Kirilenko flying over from the weak side.
Fisher did a good job on him that time.
Kirilenko forgot to catch the ball. Utah turns it over. Both teams shooting better than 50%. Jazz have 22 assists and their 26 made field goals. Talking about a team passing the ball.
Well, they play team basketball, don't they?
Barron isolated on Darren Williams.
Yeah, the offense right now is a lot more stagnant than it had been. And it's easy to rebound the ball off those plays because everybody's not moving.
Darren Williams, a foul line jumper. Court tipping, but Barron comes up with it. Barron passed everybody to Steven Jackson, and he'll swoop in to knock it down.
Big play there. I tell you, they're lucky Darren Williams missed on that shot, but then Barron went up and snatched that rebound. That was a big sequence, Bob, and late in the third quarter. Don't want to give this team any momentum.
Darren Williams down the lane. What a finish with the right hand.
Warriors are going to push it up, though. Jackson wants the ball. He's got it.
Okur flying at him, tried to get it inside. Karolinko committed the foul.
Nice break. Here's that Darren Williams miss. It was a 4-point game. Barron comes right out of the pack, bounce pass, and the dunk.
It's the 4th team foul on Utah. That will get Matt Barnes into the ball game.
It could have been easily a 2-point game now, but Warriors with the ball in the 4-point lead once again.
Resting Jason to see how that ankle is, giving him a blow. Harrington, good quick move inside, and so quick that he traveled. That takes away the basket.
I'm not sure about that one. I'm not sure about that.
Don Nelson disagrees as well.
I thought he made a pretty good move. Well, we'll see it when we get a time. All right, let's watch. He comes in, the left foot. You know what? That's not traveling, folks. That is not traveling. My word. Go to the dictionary and see Shaquille's picture.
Shot clock at 7. Fisher to Karolinko to the rim. Jazz have really picked up their play here in the third quarter. Warriors shot 12 of 16 in the second, being shackled here in the third. Baron Davis spotting Barnes, shot clock at 7, and Barron had it knocked away. Still Warrior ball with only 5 to shoot. We'll get Peterson to the game and give Al Harrington a blow.
This is where you need your composure. Just keep that same mental attitude. Same positive attitude. Harrington got robbed on that one. He had to play through that too.
Steven Jackson to beat the shot clock. Off back iron. Utah a chance to push. Fisher on the go. Darren Williams will suck up the space, go to the rim, lay it up and out, rebound, and a foul, an offensive foul on Utah.
I bet that was Boozer kind of climbing the back.
So Barnes will shoot free throws as Boozer. That's a big call. It's his 4th foul.
Important. Darren Williams passes up the 3, tries to get all the way. Worried about Andres beating, so Andres changed that shot, and Boozer from the right-hand side just climbing the back, and you're right. You pick up the 4th foul, you got to go right at him.
So Barnes, the chip fracture and the dislocation, middle finger on the shooting hand. And he's still able to knock down the free throw. And the playoff priority list being formed. This is your way to guarantee the ability to get playoff tickets. 888-GSW-HOOP. Operators ready to help you right now. Should the Warriors qualify, get on that playoff priority list. And Barnes, bat hand and all, knocking down a couple free throws. Warriors continue to be perfect, 9 of 9 from the line. Baron Davis knocking it away from Fisher.
And throws it ahead
to Jackson. And a 3 in transition.
Well, he didn't know Okur was going to close on him like he did, but that long arm bothered him then.
Got to watch Millsap on the rebounding. Fisher missing there. Ball loose. And Utah, quickest team to the ball.
Fisher got that up and in. He's had a heck of a game too, Bob.
Fisher's 19. Barron right around him. Appeared to be bumped, no call. And Fisher headed the other way. Final 2.5 of the third quarter. That's seen Utah climb back into the game. We have a whistle off the ball.
It's on Petrus. Petrus has to loosen up and play to the ball rather than hug his man, but the Warriors have the 2-point lead.
2:27 remaining in the third, and the Jazz working the glass.
Well, things are going well in the NBA and things are hotting up as well in the NHL. Actually, you don't want things hotting up in the NHL, do you? Because, of course, they have to call the games off. But on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, where Nick and Russ will be here, as you can see, 125. Philadelphia, as a sports town, is not having a great year. The Flyers aren't doing all that well, but the Rangers could really do with this win on their home ice. It's really tight there for the playoff slots in the East, so the Rangers want to get that win. It's only 1 point separating 7th to 10th down there. So the Rangers on home ice, they've got the Philadelphia Flyers in town. Join Nick and Russ tomorrow/tonight at 1:25.
A good one in Salt Lake City at the base of the Wasatch Mountains, with the Warriors leading by 2 with 2:27 remaining in the third. And this is fun, Jim. When you talk about Don Nelson going against Jerry Sloan, you're talking about the longest tenured coach in the league and then the oldest by age coach in the league. 2 of the top 4 in total wins, and they've gone to battle on awful lots.
Head to head, when you look at that, just 2 great Hall of Fame coaches. It's as simple as that. Jerry Sloan has yet to be named NBA Coach of the Year. They're trying to lobby. Of course, Larry Miller, the owner of the club, says he deserves it. 4th best record in the league. Don Nelson has won that distinction 3 separate times.
Riley's gotten it 3 times. Don Nelson's gotten it 3 times. But Sloan, 19 years, 2 trips to the finals, never named Coach of the Year. That's almost incomprehensible.
He's had several 60-win seasons, 3 to be exact.
Petrus fouling Harpring. Where's that a foul to give? Michael with 4 fouls in 7 minutes. Harpring, Paul Millsap, Okur with Fisher and Ronnie Brewer.
Remember the Jazz had, what, something like 19 straight playoff appearances? They haven't been in 3 years.
Millsap missing the layup. Harrington tipping to the open space. Good rebound by Al. Took a shot in the face as he lingers behind the play. Aaron trying to lean in and get a foul, and he'll get a 3 instead.
How do you make that shot? It's a rhetorical question. You've got to be strong. I'm going to tell you right now, that's almost impossible. He did initiate the contact. There was no foul on the play, but my word.
Warriors 11 made 3s.
None harder than that one.
Looking for Harpring. Instead, it's Brewer, and he is fouled to prevent the layup.
He's a slasher, and he's strong. And he plays both the 3 and the 4. But at his size, he's undersized for the 4, but he's got the quickness. Let's watch Barrett on this last play. I mean, he goes against a strong defender and a strong individual. You get a bump and you still make it.
Ronnie Brewer, 67% free thrower, missing the first there. The Stay in School Challenge going on right now from March 5th to May 18th. Students who complete the challenge can win prizes and a chance to go to the summer's hottest party, that'll MLB's All-Star Fan Fest. KNBR, Major League Baseball, The Chronicle, and FSN Bay Area bringing you the Stay in School Challenge, and Ronnie Brewer unable to make either free throw. Barron right around Fisher and putting it up and in.
Yeah, he didn't wait for a call there. You know, on that last drive a moment ago, I thought he got fouled. A couple of possessions ago, not the 3-point shot, but the drive. This time he concentrated on making it.
The Warriors were up 7 at halftime. They've rebuilt the 7-point lead.
Yeah, let's see if they can finish this quarter strongly. This guy's been hot.
Fisher missing. Harrington tipping, and it's off of Al.
Here's that little shake and bake move, and Barron gets to the strong right-hand side and just had Derek Fisher nailed to the floor. He was glued back out front.
On this last play, the entire Warrior bench jumped up. They thought that Harrington had somebody go over the back. Instead, the ball is called off of Al. You don't normally see all the coaches and all the players stand simultaneously. New 24 for Utah.
They're going to go. This is an offensive foul on Harpring. He pushed off on Monte Ellis. They were going to go to that mismatch too, Bob.
Well, the good thing is there's no makeup calls in the league. And so the Warriors have a 7-point lead in the ball.
They'll take it.
But all the good things Utah did, Jim, and cutting it to the 1 point, and now look at the Warriors rebuild this lead.
Yep, because they have a whole different mindset. And they persevered.
Barron with the shot clock at 7. Shot clock at 4. Barron in the lane. He's doing everything. Baron Davis with the 3, the lay-in, the runner.
One thing he can't do, Bob, you know what that is? He can't get a call. He hasn't been in the line yet, and he's still complaining.
He's taking a lot of contact, but he keeps on trucking.
Yeah, you can't blow the whistle for yourself.
Fisher denied by Barnes, but Barnes saved it inside, and then
late call.
Yeah, Brewer was fouled. Oh, Matt had the right idea. The ball was stolen, but he shoved it back in bounds, and Brewer was able to get it.
Got to be careful here. Benny Adams doesn't want to hear too much verbiage. Barron was giving him an earful. Harrington. Monte started to. He thought better.
Well, all in all, after our previous 23 trips to this building, there's been far worse whistles here than tonight.
Yes.
I mean, Jerry Sloan does a tremendous job of commanding respect.
Well, you'd have nights where Malone would get to the line 18 times.
You know, I'll credit our man Harvey Pollack in Philly. Since 1970, the most fouls, technical fouls assessed is the missed free throws rebounded. Jerry Sloan and Don Nelson. And Sloan has 410.
As a coach or?
Player coach.
Player coach, I was going to say.
Since 1970 in the NBA. Okay. Sloan and Nelson have been called for the most tees.
All right, a little breakdown there. They didn't clear the missed free throw, and it cost them.
Yeah, Brewer makes it a 3-point possession.
It cost them.
Shot clock off. Final 5 seconds.
You know where Barron's going.
At 2. Barron at 1. Little runner hanging, and that's the only thing he didn't make. So a 7-point lead at halftime. And the Warriors lose only 1, a 6-point lead as we head into the 4th.
Yes, and Baron Davis really looking the part out there, particularly in that quarter. Now, as well we know by now, we're going to be seeing some NBA action in this country during the course of this year. You probably heard the details, but this was how it announced at the very venue that it's going to be happening.
Today we're delighted to announce that the NBA are sending over the Boston Celtics and the Minnesota Timberwolves for a pre-season game on October the 10th. And I think the excitement when the sporting fans of this country get a chance to see these fantastic athletes perform, I think it'll be fantastic. And the aim of this is that on October the 10th, these two teams will play a pre-season game. And for those fans of basketball and sport, I suggest that they go to www.the02.co.uk very fast, because I anticipate the tickets for this game being in very high demand.
For us, it's great to be back in England. It's great to be back in London. It's been over a decade since we've been able to bring NBA basketball to this city. And we think that there's no better way to bring NBA basketball back than to do it within the context of NBA Europe Live, where we're bringing 4 of our teams to conduct training camps and play preseason games in Europe, and to do it in this incredible new arena that's directly behind us, which will be the best basketball and sports venue in Europe.
The aspiration is that we have a team by 2012 that can compete in the Olympics in a strong way, and I think getting people to see these guys play live, I mean, if you've seen it on TV, it's clearly an amazing sport played by fantastic athletes. I think it's a chance for people to see it live, and we've priced the tickets very competitively so that we can get everybody to come and see the game.
We feel, both the EuroLeague and the NBA, feel a strong responsibility to do everything we can to help the sport of basketball grow. We believe it's in our both short and long-term interest for the sport of basketball to be healthy. We know it's difficult in a country like England, but we are committed to doing everything we can to help little boys and girls dribble balls with their hands instead of kick them with their feet.
I definitely think the city would embrace the games coming up. I think obviously there's desire there. The NBA wouldn't be bringing a game here. So I think it's going to be very good for the community and also for the basketball relations.
I think the O2 is, when it opens, will very quickly be considered the best basketball venue in Europe. It has the size, it has the infrastructure, it has many of the other aspects that are important for us to be able both to showcase basketball from a back of the house infrastructure perspective, but also it allows for the dollars and cents of big time sports to work. Between the sight lines are fantastic. There's 96 suites in the arena, and we think that we'll be able to very closely mirror the real NBA experience in terms of both the basketball and the entertainment. We're going to play a game. We're going to see how it goes, and if there is success, and we fully expect there will be, that we'll come back.
Yeah, coming back, the big deal. That's the whole point about getting that game in there. First of all, we should say that it does look like it's setting itself up to be a fantastic arena and just general entertainment venue, doesn't it?
I would say, obviously, visiting the NBA Live in Europe this past summer, we thoroughly had a great time in Paris and Germany, and I think having it in London would be absolutely great, especially the arena. We had the opportunity to go in there, and I thought it was shaping up to
absolutely
be
handsome.
a rather nice event place to have an event.
And of course, it's no coincidence. I mean, the timing is excellent. You've got two full squads coming over in October for those games. And that venue will, of course, then be where the Olympics will be holding its basketball tournament. So you put those two things together, and it's a really good fillip for the sport in general.
Yeah,
isn't
it's pretty much dress rehearsal. I mean, they need to get big playing teams in there, they need to get fans through the doors, and they need to get prepared. Because don't forget, once the Olympics on, they're going to be having games there every single day, and they need to be on top of their game. And people are saying it's only 6 years or however long it is, but that time will go very quickly, and they need to get themselves prepared for it.
Of course, the main thing, which everybody, the whole thing was put together based on the fact that it's one stop on the tube for me. That's really why they've done that. And thank you very much indeed, everybody, on that basis. It's a thrilling part of town, East London, God bless it. And the only place I think is even more exciting is Salt Lake City. No, exactly, yeah. But we just take ourselves to now then. So I was pretty impressed there because I thought that it looked like Utah had done the classic third quarter job on the road team.
They did, and had a chance to tie the basketball game, and Deron Williams fluffed a wide open layup, and it literally rolled off, and that allowed Golden State, who had been shooting poorly up until that point, to get themselves back in the game and extend the lead again. So I think that Utah really shot themselves in the foot because everything was rolling in their way. Momentum was flowing for them, and literally, I think once they blew that wide open layup, it's sort of like, and to compound the situation, it was an offensive foul on the rebound on Carlos Boozer. So, and then they just literally went to work after that. And more importantly, the guy who went to work was Baron Davis.
So did fantastic.
He was begging the referees to give him a whistle.
Looked like he was getting slapped about the place a bit, didn't he?
But more importantly, he put the ball in the hoop.
A massive game for these two teams, and this quarter just turned into that point, isn't it? Because Utah do not want to keep this losing streak going, and Golden State could really do with a win.
It's all to play for. Yeah. It pretty much is all to play for, and it's all about who can get their tempo going. If it's in Utah's favour, then they want half court. If they can get that, then they're going to win the basketball game. But if it's up and down, you've got to look at Golden State.
Golden State, exactly right. Big deal, this game, isn't it? And there's a quarter of it left. Let's go to it.
At Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City, Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett. Well played ball game as we head into the fourth quarter with the Warriors up 6. And Matt Barnes knocking away. Millsap regains. Barnes spilled into the crowd. Shot clock at 7. Darren Williams to the rim, missing the layup. Rebound in traffic, out of bounds. 2.
This should be Warriors ball.
It will be Utah ball.
Harrington is really upset because 2 men have jumped all over him on that rebound. You got to be careful here, not get a tee.
The Warrior bench is being worn. They've had a good look at a couple plays on the baseline.
The drive, it bounds off long. Watch Harrington on the weak side. He fights for it.
It goes from bad to worse. A foul on Monte Ellis on the inbounds. And the Warriors, you're going to have adversity, particularly when you come to Utah. This is the 3rd best home record in the NBA. And they're going to have to play through some of it. Darren Williams with Harpring. Kirilenko will launch and drop it in. So Monte Ellis with Harrington, Richardson, Biedrins, and Barnes. Darren Williams and Millsap. Kirilenko, Boozer with 4 fouls, and Harpring.
I think the first 2 minutes of this quarter are vitally important, Bob. But you don't let Utah get back into it. All of a sudden, let the lead erase. You still have to establish your authority and your domination.
And that's why that first possession was so key, is that Al appeared to have that inside position. You don't get that rebound, you don't get a call, and then they bury a jumper.
Right. Little things. Darren Williams is really putting pressure on Monte.
He got hit in the head.
He got poked in the head, but you can see they're making it very difficult on him.
They've limited to Ellis to only 2 points tonight.
I'll tell you why. They don't like him to get a running start. They don't want him to get a lot of room so that he can break you down with your quickness. So they're not letting him get going. They're preventing that.
Millsap and Ellis knocking heads there.
You know, quick players like to have a little room to operate and come at you and back you up. So Darren is just overplaying.
Shot clock at 5.
They haven't got much going here.
Richardson on Kirilenko, pump faked him nicely, but Kirilenko recovered to bother him on the shot. And then Williams throwing it away.
Well, Richardson got in the passing lane. That's why. They couldn't see where it was going in. The receiver.
How long does Don Nelson wait before Baron Davis comes in to close this game? That's the other question. Biedrins, shot clock at 5. Wheels into the lane, dropping it off. And an offensive foul will take away the basket. The pass and crash.
Where is the restricted area? Was he outside the restricted area? I think he also should have tried to finish that play. Watch Kirilenko. Well, his heel was there, Mike Harpring, excuse me. And he had to step out. And the bottom line is, I'm not sure he got there in time. Tough call.
Kirilenko dropping it, and Millsap finishing. Don Nelson's going to use a timeout.
Well, he's mad, but he's not mad at his players. A little bit, but he's more mad at 3 other people.
10-12 remaining in the ball game. Warriors clinging to the 2-point lead.
And the home team bounced back. Just a quick update for you. Obviously, we discussed the fact that we're going to have Cleveland, Indiana next week for you. As you can see there, we hit the first round of the playoffs on April the 24th. Important one, though, that you should make a note of because it's going to be a cracking game. We've switched it for you. In the East, April the 10th, New Jersey at Washington is our game on April the 10th. Currently, that is 8th spot playing the 3rd spot. That could have changed by then, of course, but you just know it's going to be a massive game. That's our next 5 here on 5.
Baron Davis has played 17 minutes of the ball game, and Toyota by the numbers. Utah, the 2nd best shooting team in the NBA. Jazz and Warriors have both shot it very well tonight. Harrington, pump fake on Millsap, putting it up and out.
By the way, their opposition field goal percentage is 8th best. So the Warriors shooting tonight, nearly 50% is pretty remarkable.
Boozer pulling his 17th rebound on that play.
All right, they can tie or take the lead. Looks like they tie.
Now, Millsap with the left hand. They got Millsap and Boozer. They can run the pick and roll either way.
Millsap plays bigger.
Jackson, you want to get a foul call? Steven Jackson's going to make sure he gets it.
Well, Paul Millsap has done a lot of damage. Jackson going in. Boy, he just got hammered. Walks away, no problem. Go to the free throw line.
Jackson with 14 tonight. All 5 Warrior starters in double figures, but only 4 points off the bench. A quiet night for Monte Ellis.
I talked about that at halftime. The bench had to do better. At halftime, they had 2 points and 7 of the 8 turnovers.
Monte has played so well for so long. When he has an off game, it's just a shock to the system.
No more turnovers in this half, but they just haven't gotten any scoring. They've really bottled up Monte. If he can't get in the open court, he's struggling here.
Jackson knocking down 2 key free throws, and Baron Davis comes to the scorer's table. Harpring looking for Darren Williams. He'll back it out. Drop it to Boozer with a shot clock at 8. That face-up jumper is money.
That's a tough matchup for Andres Biedrins.
11 of 16 for Boozer, 25 points and 17 boards.
He doesn't have three-point range, but he has mid-range jump shot, and Andres stayed in.
Harrington corner 3, high arc, rimmed out.
They've gone cold here a little bit. So that means the defense, you got to get tough. This place will erupt if the Jazz take the lead.
Harpring for the foul line, hold the string short. Harrington will push. Harpring's behind the play.
And so was Monte Ellis. He should be running down.
Monte, big shot. Big confident shot for him. Baron Davis is cheering in midcourt.
Yes, he is.
Aaron Williams, kick out to Kirilenko. Shot clock at 10. Millsap inside, putting it up and in, and the foul.
He's been a scoring machine here, and they're all coming in the lane off the board.
Millsap, 10 points, 4 rebounds. That's one power forward.
And here's Boozer with the live dribble, little jab step, keeps Andres back. He just has an open look.
Paul Millsap, what a special rookie that they found in the second round. Well, Utah's last lead was at 6:42 of the first quarter. With the Jazz on top now.
But the Warriors, you know what? You can still see that they're just going to play their game.
And Millsap with a steal, and Harrington had to grab him.
Let's see what they come up with here. It's going to happen too.
Warriors 13 foul, Jazz are committed 2. That lineup of Boozer and Millsap has bothered the Warriors. Boozer, same spot.
Biedrins crowds him here.
Puts it on the floor, reversing it up and out. Rebound loose. Richardson battling. Jason comes up with it, and Harpring knocks him over.
You got to stick your nose in here tonight, particularly in this fourth quarter, because the Jazz are going to go after every loose ball. This is a wild sequence. Boozer just can't get this one to go down.
If you never saw Jerry Sloan play, watch Matt Harpring.
Very good. Trouble is, I saw him play and
he hit you a few times.
Oh boy, did he.
Barron to the rim with the right hand. It just tickles the tin and rims out.
Jackson can't give too much help. Now it's Richardson on Millsap.
And Barron knocking it away. Millsap regains. Shot clock at 5. Kirilenko. Barron took it away. 2-on-1 with Jay Rich. Barron to the rim to lay it up and in.
I'm glad he didn't throw the alley-oop.
He's one of the top 5 leaders in steals all season, and the lightning quick hands of Baron Davis giving the Warriors the lead.
He does have a tendency for knowing the moment.
Boozer, he just held on the catch. Steven Jackson commits the foul.
Knocked away, and Harrington involved in that, and Barron looks, makes a decision. Darren Williams never took away the dribble. You just go all the way to the rim with it.
Well, that's the thing. That's the other part of the 2-on-1. If the defender never comes to you, you just go lay it in.
The defender was turned sideways, and the lane was there, and that's what you should do. And sometimes they overpass it on a 2-on-1.
So 4 team fouls on the Warriors, 3 on Utah. Jackson picking up his 3rd personal. Go to Boozer nearly every time. In the lane, Richardson knocked it away, loose on the ground. Jackson saving it to Harrington.
What a play.
Baron Davis will push. The Jazz are back defensively.
He can drive in, and he does.
It goes around Harpring. Biedrins trying to clean it up. The 2nd time, the 3rd time, no!
Unusual.
Midway through the 4th, mark that down, a key sequence where the Warriors appeared to have a lay-in. Boozer, now Harpring springing free. His jumper is good. We got ourselves a 6-minute ball game on the road in Utah with the Jazz up 1.
Now, is that rim going to continue to be unkind to whomever is shooting? Seems that way, doesn't it?
Got to get the screwdriver and loosen that thing. Clock at 5. Barron from deep. Yes!
That's the way. Just don't hit the rim. Find the net.
Baron Davis with 17. He hits the 3.
He's hurting too. He's hurting right now. He's going on guts.
Harpring leaning.
Steven Jackson just fell into him. And that shot was going to be missed.
5:18 remaining in the ball game. They got to keep Jackson away to make sure he doesn't get the tee. The Warriors lead by 2. Barron is willing shots to go in the basket.
Big games all over the league tonight. Here we go. Let's nip through them for you now. We'll look at the divisions a little bit later on. Denver winning again, 5 in a row for them there. And that is Anthony with 30, Iverson with 20. Are they getting their act together? We also have a snapped 8-game winning streak there from Cleveland. They've lost that game there to the Charlotte Bobcats. Philadelphia and Detroit. Detroit win there. That's no big surprise, one would argue. Tayshaun Prince top scored with 30 there. And Flip Murray still playing at point guard. He's the third choice point guard. They're down to that at the moment. And New York lost as well to Dallas. Dallas, of course, on the run after that massive game that they lost to Phoenix about a week or so ago. So that's all very interesting in the 8-spot chase there in the East. We'll look at that in more detail at the end of this game.
Well, the Warriors leading by 2 with 5:18 left. Free throws coming for Utah. This game getting incredibly physical. And Baron Davis getting bounced around on a number of drives.
I'll tell you what, he's a gamer. Knocks down the 3 here, finds the bottom of the net. He has 2 drives to the basket, Bob, and came up empty-handed on both of them. Barron, for the record, has yet to go to the free throw line tonight.
He's taken 15 shots, has yet to shoot a free throw. Richardson yet to shoot a free throw. Biedrins yet to shoot a free throw. But the Warriors are in it. You said, Jim, at the top of the telecast, hang in the ball game and give yourself a chance. And for a team with only 8 road wins on the season, this has been a wonderful performance in a building where Utah is 25-7, 3rd best home record in the NBA.
But the Warriors are a different team at this time of year and with the personnel that they have. And you just had a good glimpse of your leader. And now it's time for Jay Rich to possibly make a statement.
5:18 left. Harpring, the foul before the timeout.
Harrington only 2 points this half. Jay Rich only 3.
So Matt Harpring, one of the most rugged players in the NBA, the 15th pick by Orlando.
But for the most part, they've done a nice job. And you look at the home records, Dallas Mavericks, of course, with until the Warriors beat them, they'd only lost 2 games in 3 months.
Harpring makes big plays at big times. Dropping in the free throw there. That's been with Orlando, Cleveland, Philly, and this is year 5 in Utah, re-signing in the offseason. knocks down the free throws. The Jazz 18 of 24 from the line. Warriors 11 of 11. And we're tied at 91 as we wind down towards 5 minutes.
5-minute game, like you say. It'll just keep going down. But they're in a position to come out victoriously.
Barron, tough three. Darren Williams able to get it out, but right to Richardson. And now we've got a whistle, and it's a kick ball. It'll be Warrior basketball. I say Darren Williams kicked it while he was on the ground.
I like the no call. Barron misses a shot. He follows it and just knocks Darren Williams off balance just enough. This was kicked off of Harpring.
Harpring as Williams, that was a pretty good outlet.
You know what though? That's pretty, that's not, sometimes that wouldn't be called a kick because it just kind of ran into his foot and got deflected. He didn't stick it out there.
Warriors will take it. Jay Rich, good look at a triple. Threes have not been there in the second half for the Warriors, other than Barron. 4.5 minutes of crunch time. Harpring springing free again.
Jackson chose not to go up.
Matt Harpring has 6 points here in the fourth of his 8 in the game.
Matches the Jazz largest lead. Only 2.
Harrington on Millsap. Al to the rim on Kirilenko, and he'll get himself to the line.
Good job. Making sure the contact came. Well, Millsap's playing so well that Sloan can't take him out.
Barron and Steven Jackson doing the talking in the team huddle. Washington on Friday. What a ball game that's going to be at Oracle Arena. Family and friends weekend. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 bags of chips, and 4 Pepsis for one low package price. 888-GSW-HOOP or log on to Warriors.com. You got to be there for Wizards Warriors on Friday night. Harrington, the Warriors' first free throw miss as a team, 11 of 12. Now, as Jim mentioned, only 2 points in the second half after 19 in the first. He misses them both. We've got a foul on Steven Jackson on the missed free throw.
Got to be careful here.
And the Warriors over the limit, so free throws the other way.
He's got 5 fouls now, and also a little mock clapping, and Mike Callahan's going to watch him. Just a little push. Usually don't call that when they have control of the ball. Here comes the tee, I'll bet you. He's got to be careful.
On the 2-point game, as Millsap will shoot a couple free throws. Millsap a 69% free thrower. Knocking it down. It's the youngsters for Utah. Darren Williams, the second-year player, running the show, and then Millsap, the 47th pick in the draft. And Louisiana Tech, same school as Karl Malone. He led college basketball in rebounds for 3 straight years.
Well, that tells you something.
No player has ever done that in college history.
Not even Jerry Lucas. Huh? Lucas did it for 2 years, I know, Ohio State.
Jackson on Harpring. A turnaround. Steven Jackson forced that one a bit.
And Boozer just owning the boards here. He's got 19.
Kirilenko stolen by Biedrich, but Say Andres.
When he knocked it, it deflected. I think it was on the baseline, on the out-of-bounds line. Boozer now has 21 rebounds, excuse me.
25 and 21. That is the call, that the ball was out of bounds. Don Nelson's going to hustle Monte into the ball game.
Well, they played too well to lose. Sometimes, obviously, it happens, Bob, but let's just put it this way. They've played well enough to win. So let's see if they can close it out.
This one a long way from over with 3:41 left.
Harpring almost knocked Baron Davis into the basketball support. No one saw it. Got to do it with defense.
Williams has picked up the dribble. Kirilenko inside. He'll get to the line.
I'll tell you what. He's out. Steven Jackson, 6th one.
Jackson is fouled out.
All you have to do is just run into somebody. And then go to the line.
Steven Jackson had 1 foul coming into the 4th quarter. He's been called for 5 fouls in the quarter.
Well, let's watch it. Kirilenko comes to the middle. Jackson's there. And I can see why they call that. He didn't square up. Moved in a little bit. I'm not sure about the one at the other end. They got to get Steven Jackson under control here.
Ron Nelson has 30 seconds to put in a substitution.
It's expired.
He's going to put Harrington in.
Nobody went in because they were all surrounding Steven, making sure. Then he didn't pick up a tee.
Unfortunately, this is a scenario the Warriors have become used to playing under. 28 free throws to 13. I mean, every game it's doubled. It was 34-17 in Seattle.
And the lead just keeps extending here. The game has come down to a grinding halt.
Kirilenko knocking him down. So 8 straight by Utah. From 2 down to lead by 6. The Warriors need to get the offense untrapped. Jackson is fouled out. Barron will drive it. And what the players are doing now, there's a whistle every single time down. So just continue to go to the rim. We're going to have free throws the rest of the way. Harpering's got 4 fouls.
They're just forcing the action inside.
Now what's funny, Jim, is Harpering's done far worse to Barron than that trip.
Yes, I agree. So, I totally agree.
These are Barron's first free throws. And he rims them both in.
Now they're in the game here. They just have to get back, playing a tough D, and get a defensive rebound.
Kirilenko to Darren Williams, looking for a seam. Little pull-up shot is good.
I'll tell you, he makes clutch shots.
Darren Williams, only 3 of 13 shooting, but he has 17 assists in the game. Aaron, bump there again. He'll get to the line.
Do it every time. That's smart. But can they stop the Jazz at the other end? That's a question.
Darren Williams picks up his 4th foul. 2:52. Mandatory coming at a good time. Warriors to shoot 2 more free throws, but trailing by 6.
Golden State back in this game, crucial in that 8-spot chase in the West, as indeed are these games here, as you can see, because you got a victory there for New Orleans over Memphis. They're going okay at the moment. 114 there is the lead there. As you can see, 114 to 103. And then the Clippers getting back into winning ways as well, with points scored between Elton Brand, Corey Maggott and Coutinho Mobley as well, doing very nicely. 30 points for Yao Ming, who's back from injury and in decent form as well. In the 4th quarter, they have a 7-point lead over Indiana. So many of these games are relevant to that 8-spot chase in both the conferences. We'll update that for you at the end of our game.
A lot of old friends Friday night. Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jameson, and the Wizards coming to town. We'll have it for you at 7:30 on Friday on FSN Bay Area. And what should be a barn burner and a lot of history, given the Washington outcome against the Warriors only a couple weeks ago.
Washington's 2nd highest scoring team in the league.
A forward bold move of the game. Baron Davis right around Derek Fisher to the rim. Barron with 19 on the night.
Nice little finger roll. And I'll tell you what, he's made the most of the minutes he's been in there, hasn't he?
Well, the Warriors, 28 in the first, 32 in the second, 22 in the third, 11 here in the 4th quarter. Only 3 of 14 shooting after 5 of 14 in the 3rd quarter.
I talked about Jerry Sloan, the adjustments he would make with his team at halftime, or get them to make. But Barron's having the same type of game that he had in Seattle. Seattle, he played 25 minutes, scored 19 points. Of course, hit the game winner.
The shooting disparity in this. There might be something to that rim, Jim.
And it continues off a free throw miss.
Utah missed a bunch of layups of that side in the first half. Warriors have had a bunch rattle in and out in this half.
Well, Barron's only played, what, 22, 23 minutes, and he's got 20 points. That's efficiency.
Barron with 20, Jason 21, Harrington 21. Jackson's fouled out with 16 points.
And by the way, we talked about that point guard matchup. And Darren Williams with those 17 assists. Barron has 7 and no turnovers in those limited minutes.
Boozer inside. And that's an offensive foul.
I was going to say, Kudris was there, and I was hoping that he held his position. He tried to get out of the way a little bit, but they still called it.
Now Boozer picks up his 5th foul.
Well, you'd love to get him out of the game, but even if this game would go to overtime, it could be a factor.
Warriors have enough offense in the final 2.5 minutes.
Well, you know Barron's going to hang on to it here.
Clear side for him. Harrington spaces out for 3. Biedrins the offensive rebound. He gets it back out. That pass knocked out of bounds. Still Warrior basketball.
Okay, Biedrins got the rebound, Bob. There were 2 people hanging all over his arms. He was absolutely held on the play and almost resulted in a turnover when he got it out to Barron.
Yeah, physicality has been driven up a couple notches in this 4th quarter.
Pick and roll.
Shot clock at 10.
I thought he had him.
Barron out to Jay Rich from the corner, and the Warriors can't buy one. Absolutely can't buy one.
And they're getting some looks.
3 of 16 shooting in the 4th quarter.
Harrington had a good look. Jason couldn't get a better one there, set up by Barron. So defense and this possession becomes even more important.
Boozer inside. Ball ricocheting around. Harrington saving. A must-have this trip down.
Well, they're letting the play, I'll tell you that. See, normally Monte would go at him right here.
Monte on Karolenko crosses him over to the rim. Kicking it out to Harrington. Good look at a triple. Got it! There's a 3, and it's a 2-point ball game.
Changes everything. Changes everything.
The Warriors dig in defensively one more time.
Without fouling. They've been letting him play a little bit.
Harpring. Shot clock at 9. Darren Williams with the crossover. The pump, the lean, the foul.
How much contact was there? Don Nelson is talking. Don Nelson's talking to Benny Adams. Let's watch this. You're going to see a great angle here. Did he hit him? Well, I'll tell you what. A little bit of contact. What you saw at the end there was the Monte drive and then the kick out for the 3. I'll tell you what, that's pretty cheap right there. That's pretty cheap.
Darren Williams knocking him down. The Jazz 24 of 30 from the line. They made the most of their opportunities. Final minute here with the Warriors down 4. Out of bounds to Utah.
That's critical there.
Only the 14th Warrior turnover, but it comes at a big time.
They can't run the clock out with 2 24-second possessions. You cannot foul.
Shot clock at 10. Boozer comes set the screen. Darren Williams to Harpring inside, point blank, rimming it out. Rebound out of bounds to Utah.
Looks like they just run out of gas on the boards there a little bit.
Warriors being out rebounded 44 to 30. Gary Sloan's going to use a timeout. So Utah with a 4-point lead, 31.7. Warriors need a steal, a stop, and they need to find a way to get a couple buckets.
And here's some latest for you, see what we can do by the end of the show, give you the updates on these as well. We had a lead, as you can see, Houston still drawing away there. Phoenix could be getting back into winning ways against Minnesota. Of course, are still in the chase. And also in the fourth quarter, tight game between Washington, who need it, and Portland, who could do with it as well. As I say, more of this a little bit later on once our game is finished.
Well, the Warriors offensively have short-circuited in the fourth quarter, shooting only 4 of 17. The Jazz 8 of 13, coming from 6 down to take a 4-point lead and a huge offensive rebound off that Harpring miss. Utah, all they want to do is milk the clock here. There's a 7-second differential game in shot clock, but down 4, you need to get the ball. Williams will use a timeout as he had terminated the dribble. 6.8, you can see the differential shot clock and game clock, and Utah using the 22nd timeout. So for the Warriors, terrific three-point shooting night, 13 of 27, put all 5 starters in double figures. But the bench, Paul Millsap in particular, and Matt Harpring have combined for 21 points, and Monte Ellis has only 4. He averages 17, and that's been the difference.
Doesn't the Warrior bench average give you about 30 points a game so far this year?
Tonight, only 6. Utah getting to the line and taking good advantage. 24 of 30 in the ball game.
Remember, Utah started out this year, Bob, 12-1, including their first 7 games at home.
Yeah, only Dallas, Phoenix, and San Antonio have a better record than the Utah Jazz. 4th best team in the NBA, 3rd best at home.
Well, the Warriors need a miracle here. And sometimes they come about. Try to get a steal, didn't get there in time.
Deron Williams, they will double him. Millsap, the shot clock at 6. Williams inside, back out to Kirilenko. All they're doing is milking the clock. Millsap to shoot a 3, and he got it! His first 3 of the season! He'd only attempted 1 prior.
It's been his night.
Well, that says it all for Utah right there. Harrington will shoot a 3, that'll count. And that will just change the final score. But the Utah Jazz, 26 home wins. And they give the Warriors a very difficult loss. Warriors played very well, shot it well, but the Jazz are almost unbeatable here at home. And they own that fourth quarter, outscoring the Warriors by 10.
Yeah, their defense just put the squeeze on them in the entire second half, and particularly in that fourth quarter.
Fry's HD defining moment of the game. Al Harrington. It was so good shooting 3s. The Warriors as a team shooting 3. But for Deron Williams, 17 assists and those 2 big free throws. That was the defining moment in the waning seconds. And Utah holds on to beat the Warriors. So updated standings, Clippers won tonight. They move into a percentage point tie with the Warriors. Hornets won tonight. And the race for 8th is getting closer and closer each day as the season goes by.
The Warriors have been in this same spot before where they're percentage points ahead. So they played well enough to win here tonight, but Utah goes on with a 26-7 home record. Upcoming schedule, we know about the Wizards, and we know about Gilbert Arenas and the Lakers down in Los Angeles, and then back-to-back games, but they've won the last couple of back-to-back games the Warriors have. They've proven they can win on the road and play well on the road, including tonight's effort.
Well, terrific ball game all the way around. The Jazz with Carlos Boozer having a 20-20 night. Deron Williams goes for 17 assists. All 5 Warriors starters in double figures, but the Warriors not enough in the fourth quarter. For Jim Barnett, this is Bob Fitzgerald saying so long from Salt Lake City. The Warriors upended by 4. The playoff hunt continues. We'll be with you Friday at home against Washington.
Wow, that's a tough loss in that you kind of got the funny feeling that they were there and then just Utah did what you do on the home court, I guess.
They came in and they made the critical stops when they needed to down the stretch, and it was some pretty decent looks by the Golden State Warriors, but they were unable to capitalize and try and get back into it. More importantly, for Utah, they kept it to, and I talked about whose tempo is it going to be.
Yeah.
And down the stretch in the last 7
Utah
8 minutes,
game.
it was the Utah's tempo, it was Utah's basketball game, and Golden State, as much as they tried to run, the Utah Jazz did a good job getting back in transition and forcing it to become a half-court game.
Absolutely right. And that was a big loss. We just saw that as well in terms of the American graphic. We'll look at that in a moment's time because we can nip through now the divisions and the standings in terms of those chases. As of the games that we saw tonight, as we can see there, Toronto kicked their nose in front, New Jersey and New York. Oh, not a good night for them.
Well, all those teams, New Jersey, New York, Philly, all of them fell, so still very close.
Exactly
very
right.
close. And if you're any one of those teams, you know, if they all lose tonight, it's not a big problem.
Yeah, they're all going to have a look. Yeah, we'll see that in a second. Detroit going very nice indeed. Cleveland, they've actually managed, as you can see, they lost one tonight, which is unusual for them. Also, Chicago's the thing, exactly right.
To a hot team,
but they were going that way. Indiana have lost their game this evening. We saw that they were losing. They've lost by 10 points tonight, so they don't get to add anything to their win column. Houston got themselves a win though as well. Moving on. And Washington have got their noses still in front there, but it is a tight one because, as I say, Miami obviously are looming large. They did lose this one game there, but as we know that they're in some decent form at the moment. So let's just have a look at this in slightly more detail in terms of the race for the 8. And not a lot happening in there. Don't forget that result now is 30 wins and 36 losses for Indiana because they've just this second lost that game there. So in the end,
as you were,
it was exactly right. So I mean, to a certain extent, you can imagine everybody else is looking at each other's scores after they'd lost tonight, weren't they?
And still feeling that they're still in with a chance. Obviously, nobody's made any ground after tonight's game, but it's going to be who gets the form going down the stretch.
Exactly right. So into the West. Utah get themselves that win. Very useful indeed because Denver have got themselves another win tonight, as we know. So that keeps them at arm's length. In the Pacific, Phoenix are away on top there. We had a win tonight for the Clippers, though, in this division after they've been on a run of bad form. And Dallas as well. As you can see, Charlotte obviously got themselves a win tonight, but it's Dallas and San Antonio in really good shape. But Houston again, their noses are in front. It looks like they're probably going to win that one tonight, so they'll go to 43-25. With a 4-game winning streak, which means this is again at the bottom here, and this is really all about the fact that Golden State Warriors could have really done with that win tonight with the Clippers winning, couldn't they?
They needed it now. The Clips are now breathing down their necks, and this is where the pressure comes on. You know, the Lakers are, you know, they're out there, so it's going to be extremely. Every single game counts.
It's almost an air gap opening there. It looks like it might be one place that they're chasing in that sense. We know as well that Minnesota are down by 20, only about a minute to go against Phoenix.
And I think that they're pretty much toast.
And Phoenix getting back to winning ways, which will obviously be important from their point of view.
It's only a two-game slide. I think they, like I said, a couple of days rest, and I think those guys are cured. They've got over the emotional win over Dallas, and it's just back to business now.
And we've seen just how tight it is down there now. And next week, this game could be even more important as a direct result. It was, as Andre said there, as you were tonight. The Pacers, though, are on home court advantage, but Cleveland, they're still rocking on. They got back into winning ways again tonight. We get to see LeBron James.
Well, actually, they stumbled against the Bobcats tonight, but LeBron James back in the basketball game, and it'll be important that they go on the road and they actually beat, once again, a sub-500 team. If you're Indiana, you're looking to try and steal one. So once again, you keep yourself in that playoff hunt, putting pressure on the guys that are below you.
That's right. It's only a few more weeks left to go in the regular season, but each week here, where Tuesday night is NBA night, we've got a big game for you. And as you can see, we've got a nice one for you next week. We'll see you then.
Coloca lá dentro, definitivamente.
El más querido.